It's time for Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it, he's out of it at 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Chicago has won the Stanley Cup. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday, baby. It's Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I am fired the freak up. A lot of good stuff going on this weekend. Man, look at this. Look at this. I had to come out with my Chicago stuff. All the Chicago teams. All the one thing one cares about anyway. All the Chicago teams on my shirt. And I'm just messing with my guys, Ivan and Joe. But just messing with you. Hey, guys, listen. We have a great show. We have a lot to talk about. If you're a Sox fan, you have to be livid right now because I was fired the freak up yesterday. I was cursing at the TV like a son of a gun, boy. That was Ricky Renteria. What are you doing? Ozzy, stay ready. Get your dust off those cleats. Get them out of the closet. Dust them off because we might be making a call real quick. Hey, guys, listen. Like I said, I'm your boy, the Superback Shawn Sierra. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, great. Secondly, I guess you found us on YouTube. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SM_mornings or at SportsZone Shy, at SportsZone Shy, that's CHI. Right now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. Want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapper, all one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're just you're an IGer, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Whoo-wee. And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring him in quick, fast, in a hurry. Don't worry. His vision ain't blurry. It's our producer. He is a man, the myth, the man behind the curtain. My Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife himself, Ivan Vargas. Ivan, what's up, Papa?
Morning, Shawn. What's up? What's going on with you? I'm just as upset as you are, so don't worry about it. Like, you're not alone. You're not alone in this, in this misery. Misery loves company. So I guess the Cubs and Sox are like, hey, you. Oh, let's go be sucky together. It's troubling. It's troubling to me, but hopefully they figure it out.
Man, I'm telling you, listen, it's a situation where we're both teams are limping into the postseason. But you know what? The good thing about it, they're still going to the postseason. All right, listen, we got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So what I need you to do is, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching this on the app, and make sure you download the app. If you're watching this on any of those platforms, then you know what, just leave a question or comment. Man, we got people coming in already. Vernon, what's up, Papa? Vernon says the Sox are so bad right now, he couldn't get the courage to rock my Sox hat, my Sox shirt, and snapback. Come on, babe. It could be worse. You could be a Cub fan, Vernon. Stop it. Rock the Sox. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry, guys. Sorry, Ivan. Sorry, Joe. Oh man, but listen, we got a great show for you. And I can't even get it out today. That's how fired up I am. I had a CrossFit workout this morning that was on fire. I was fired up. Man, it was a dope one. But at 10:30, well, you know how we do. Joe's coming on, and as soon as I'm done with my rant, but at 10:30, we have Zach Pearson from BearReport.com. He's going to call in. We're going to have Bears talk, because don't forget, the Bears looking to go 3-0 this weekend against the Atlanta Falcons, and they're having a lot of problems too. The Falcons are having a lot of problems, kind of like our Bears. But you know what? The Bears are 2-0. They are 0-2. All right, and then 11 o'clock, we're going to have Patrick Nolan from SoxMachine.com. And you talked about Misery Loves Company, Ivan. We're going to have more Sox people on here. We're all going to commiserate and like, what the hell's going on? What's going on with my White Sox? I'll tell you, Ricky Renteria has lost a lot of fans in the last couple of weeks. And I'll tell you what, he lost a hell of a lot of fans after yesterday. So that's, Zach Pearson, 10:30, Patrick Nolan, 11 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, our guy, you know how he is. He's going to get the baton from Joe. Joe's going to pass it off to our guy, Kenneth Davis. And Kenneth's going to sit with us for the 10 to 11 o'clock hour. And then he's going to pass the baton off at 11 o'clock to Jason Palmer. Man, oh, man, oh, man. And we're going to have a whole bunch of takes. We're going to be fired up because I'm fired up already, if you can't tell. Ooh, Charlie. And it's going to be a nice weekend this weekend, baby. We're getting the Cadillac wash today, baby. We're getting the black caddy wash. It's going to be coming out. They'll see me rolling. It's going to be a good weekend, man. I'm fired up. And let's get it started. So you guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning to you. And these are the hot topics of the night before or just some sports in general. And boy, oh boy, do we have some doozies. And you know what? Top of the Morning segment is powered up by the Chicago Crusader. And with that, we're going to bring in our guy who's wearing some kind of craziness. So I don't know what the hell he's doing over there. Obviously, his wife didn't dress him, okay? He is a sports editor over there. You can find him on Twitter at ACA Joe. Guys, bring him in. Joe Phillips, what's up, Papa? With that craziness you're wearing. Oh, dude. Security.
That's
security. Okay, you rocking the Bulls? I got you. See,
yeah.
Where my Bulls at?
Little Roberto Clemente love here.
I saw that. I see you.
Dan Wrong gave me this when I was an intern at WGN.
Oh, yeah?
I had this since 2005, so it's a collector's item. I never opened it.
Kissing up to Ivan? When he kissing up to Ivan, Ivan's Puerto Rican, and he loves him some Roberto Clemente.
Oh, yeah, this is my man, Roberto right here. I love him. But, yeah, man, it's going down in the shot this weekend.
It is, baby. It is.
I think they set it up like that on purpose. And remember I told you, we need some Mean Gene Oakland in here. We need a little bit of Vince McMahon in here to get this party started, because here's the deal. Somebody's going to be a division champ by the end of this weekend. Somebody is. I don't know if you guys going to try to pull off a sweep against us, or we're going to have to send y'all home with a sweep and make you guys take that L in that division championship also. So at the end of the day, maybe this will be a pre-World Series matchup right here.
It could very well be. You guys are 2.5 games up. You just see. You're on that bullish already. All right, Ivan. Where's Kenneth Davis when we need him? Where's Ken Davis when we need him? Damn, he's coming out of 10. Damn it.
Right now. Y'all got a quadruple team, man. That's cheap, man. Y'all got like 4, 5, 6, 7 Sox fans.
Fight him off every time, Joseph. I stand my ground every time with them.
Thank you, man, because they'll bully you, man, if you don't watch it. Especially Jason Palmer. He loves to bully people.
You know what? I'm gonna call Maya. Be like, Maya, I don't care if you're on a plane. Call in. I need backup.
Yeah, Lance, make them dance. Lance, make them dance.
What?
Baby. Lance, make them dance, baby.
Hey, what does he say? Let's go Sox. Yes. Man, this weekend's going down. The Civil War, the Chicago Civil War going down, baby. It's going to be good, man. I'll tell you what. It is it's going to be it's one I'm definitely looking forward to. It's going to be one. You talked about it, man. You weren't bull jiving when you said that some people are someone's going to walk home a division champ. And hopefully for you guys, St. Louis wins, and then you loses one game, and then you'll be good. And then we can then you can give us at least 2. And because, man, it's going to be tough. White Sox are not doing it. Let's start it off. Let's get it up. The first top of the morning topic. The White Sox, my goodness. The good guys on the south side. Man, they're having a rough time. They lose. They get swept by the Tribe, a 4-game set. Ouch. Get swept by Cleveland for 4 games after a 5-4 loss yesterday. Dallas Keuchel was the man. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Looking good, baby. Looking good. Giving up 1 run. And I'll tell you what, he was rolling, boy. And we finally got the lead off of Plesac, a guy we've been having issues with. We've been having a lot of. He's been giving us the flux, man. I'm telling you, all season long. And what happens? Ricky Renteria. All right, he brings in Jimmy Cordero, and then this is what got me. He brings in Carlos Rodon. Bases loaded. Carlos Rodon hasn't pitched in 12 years. All right, he has great stuff when he's ready, when he's lathered up. He brings in Carlos Rodon instead of Aaron Bummer. Aaron Bummer was one of the best relievers in the bigs last year, and I'm not exaggerating because I'm a White Sox fan. He was one of the best relievers in Major League Baseball. Now, closer relievers coming in, holding people. You know what? He got a reputation for being just cool, coming in, not letting it affect him. Puts in Rodon. Rodon gives up a huge base hit to the man who I'm starting just to hate, Jose Ramirez. Oh man, dude, he's like who was it of the Twins? It was Mauer, Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer, yeah.
Mauer. Oh my God, dude, him. Every time he came up, it was always in a high leverage situation. It seems like he connected every time. And you know what? Ricky got ripped all on the media yesterday, all on Sox Twitter yesterday. That was frustrating.
Yeah, man. Double R's at it again. You guys, you had R-rated Ricky last night. You know, he was at his best. You know, bringing in the wrong guys at the wrong time. Sox fans ticked off. As you can see, Shawn, you know, I know you're trying to hold back a little bit.
Trying
TV because we got kids watching and everything, so we don't want you going.
Hey, no, they should be e-learning. They should be e-learning right now.
But at the end of the day, you know, the Cleveland Indians, man, we the Cubs have their number, but for some reason, man, like I said, between the Twins and the Indians, man, they love to come at the Sox, man. They love to come at the Sox, and last night was a perfect example of that. They could smell the division. Winning that division, and now you get playoff baseball in the last week of the regular season.
You know, Minnesota's at the top of the division. They're a game ahead of us, 2 games ahead of Cleveland. So, you know, this is going to be a one heck of a weekend. This is going to be one heck of a weekend. You know, Cleveland, they got Pittsburgh. Man, you know, if they sweep, and Minnesota loses 1. No, I think Minnesota's going to need to lose 2. Yeah, Minnesota's going to need to lose 2 for Cleveland to leapfrog them. Because I don't know who has a tiebreaker amongst those 2.
Well, apparently the Pittsburgh Pirates are just the best team in baseball right now.
Right.
And we can't seem to figure them out. They have the best pitch. We can't do anything against their pitching. So obviously they're the best team in baseball. No, I'm joking, but it's like honestly, right now I don't think you could just like say that's a lot. And the Cubs are asking for a lot to go out, and you really got to hold it down with the Sox because I think the Cardinals still have games to play, don't they?
Yeah,
the Cardinals still have games to play. Like there's still games to play, and if you go ahead and you drop, I mean, losing out this next game, and then let's say you get swept by the White Sox. Let's be real. We're in a world of hurt because now you've lost to. Well, I would say if you lose a series against the Sox. I wouldn't fret just because it's like, you know, it's one of the better teams in baseball. But if you get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates and then go into the series and lose to the White Sox, then I'm talking about there's something more that's wrong. There's something else that's wrong.
Yeah, this is definitely a choke job by the Cubs, you know, because I mean, you can't score a run against the Pirates. Are you kidding me? Then you had a guy on the mound with a 9.36 ERA, and you couldn't score against him either. You know, come on, Cubs, man. It's something wrong with that. I can't blame this on David Ross. No. I blame this all on the players, and he's prepared them, put them in position to be in first place. And now I'm seeing guys going up the bat, choking bats away, doing crazy things. Just like we were talking about this week, just guys just wasting at bats, not getting professional at bats, not drawing walks, but swinging at garbage pitches outside of the zone. Now It's pretty much like last year, like we choked in September. I watched that in live. I was there at every game. I mean, I watched the St. Louis Cardinals stick it to us. I watched the Cincinnati Reds stick it to us. And now I'm watching the Pirates stick it to us. And now we got to face our crosstown rivals, the White Sox, and they're going to try to stick it to us. But we have to send a message to them to let them know we don't appreciate what y'all did to us at Wrigley Field. So we come to your home field, just like we talked about this earlier, to send a message this weekend.
Well, you know what? Don't sing it. Bring it, because we're in our fights. And you know what? And this got – all right, keep it up, you son of a biscuit. Keep it up. Keep it up. That stupid
Cubbies,
picture.
baby. Cubbies.
Shout out to Bernie Mac. Rest in peace to one of the greatest who ever did it. Oh man, you know what it is, and that's huge, man. The thing is, you got Eloy Jimenez who who got injured yesterday on a slide home. Dude, this kid is like, he's made of paper mache, dude. What the fudge crackers, man? This guy, he hurts his elbow catching a ball, bumping into somebody, cracks his ribs, jumping into the wall, gets a hernia, throw on the base. Like, I don't know what, all kinds of craziness. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, are you not athletic? Are you not, I mean, man, yeah, I got Armando Lara, the third. El Pescado. Yeah, he is El Pescado. Man,
Shawn, remember a couple weeks ago when I was like, and you guys thought I was blaspheming, but I was like, I'd rather I'm good without Eloy because of his antics and the things that he's been doing, the injuries. I wasn't speaking out of out of my behind there. I was serious because the playful, the jovial type of attitude, that's cute and all when you're winning, but when you're struggling and then you're getting hurt on top of that. And then you're getting hurt because of your antics. That crap don't fly on a Major League Baseball team.
It don't fly. Well, we can't blame it on and we got to also be careful with this. Ivan, we got to be careful because what they'll try to do is they'll say that we sent them Ricky Renteria and they hired him, okay, and blame it on the coach. And then they'll say we sent them Eloy Jimenez and blame it on us.
No, thank you for Eloy. Don't get me wrong. Thank you.
We're not going to go there. We're not going to take the blame for that. That's all of them right there, man. So let's make sure we attribute it to the right person, okay?
I'll tell you what. It is – I don't know how you can make the Eloy tougher right about now. I just is – and he might be one of those.
You get somebody to get in that ass. You get somebody to be like, look, huh? You gotta understand that we are in a playoff run now. Like this crap would have been cute if the season started in April and we were in May. And
what crap are you talking about?
He
slid into home plate.
But he doesn't get that, and Ricky has not.
What do you mean? He slid into home plate. He slid into home plate. He didn't jump into the fence. He didn't jump into the fence and get hurt in there like a Jared Peter.
But these are on top.
What are you talking about?
This is on top. I'm talking about everything with Eloy. Everything with Eloy is kind of like, dude, why aren't you the superstar that I see Luba being? Like right now, I see him just being it's like you said.
No, Luba, how can you say that? He's 6 for 70 in the month of September.
Because he's in the 7th hole and he has no help. This is all Ricky Renteria. My point is going back to Ricky. The problem is with Ricky, dog. The problem's with Ricky, Shawn.
Tell Kid Ricky to get it together, man. What's going on?
He does. He does need to get it together. I'm not. We're on the same page there. We're definitely on the same page there. All right. But the Eloy injuring himself he's sliding at home. That's not being silly. That's not being goofy. He's just sliding into home. And I don't even see what look at the slide like.
But it's on top of all. Look, Shawn. All I'm saying is he's been getting hurt, right? He's been getting hurt because he's been goofy. Now he's getting hurt. Now he's getting hurt just because he's getting hurt. You're saying that he's paper mache. All I'm saying is that maybe Eloy isn't the guy that we thought he was going to be.
Except when he played against the
21 homers last year. He's at like
I don't know, dude. What does it mean? You have one good year. A lot of guys have
one year.
I'm telling you.
Only year.
I think Eloy is going to be a problem.
I don't. And okay, we're gonna agree to disagree on that because he had one good year last year, but yeah, that was his rookie year, 31 homers. All right, where are you at, Eloy? Where are you at now? All right, he had 31 homers last year. He's got 14 homers this year. Okay, stop putting that Pascalo up. Leave him alone. All right. So what are you talking about? I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to deal with it. If it wasn't happening now. If it didn't happen now, then I'd be okay. It's easier to deal with. But it's happening with Lubob in a slump. It's happening with Tim Anderson getting kicked out, and he's having a little bit of a slump. It's happening with giving up games late, getting swept. All that. This is a perfect storm of bad right now. Everything is lining up bad for us.
I think Tim was right, though. I think Tim was right, though. I think Tim had every right to be pissed off. You know,
but you don't want. You don't, because what happens if you come back and then you need Tim Anderson later? You follow me?
It sucks. It sucks that he got thrown out.
It does, but you can't let that emotion. This is part of playoff baseball. All right, what did I say last week? The Sox are playing playoff baseball last week. Okay, they were close. Yeah, they had a 1 or 2 or 3 game lead, but you knew that was thin as wet paper. That was as strong. The stranglehold on that was as strong as wet paper. Okay, so and we see where we're at now. We're in second place. So you can't allow your emotions to get the best of you in playoff type situations or in playoff games, because you take Tim Anderson out. That's the heart and soul of this team. That's the guy who gets fired up and gets everybody else fired up, and you get taken out because you want to yell at an official. What's he supposed to say? Oh, you know what? You're right, Tim. Change that. That's a ball. No, it's not going to happen. It's Ricky's job to go and defend that. That's Ricky's job to go and defend it, because we can play without Ricky. We definitely do.
You have to blame it on Ricky. Like I think you have to blame it on Ricky. It's there's a lot of things that just keep on, like even if I'm being reckless with my criticism of Eloy, there's a problem with where they go on this run where they're super focused, and then all of a sudden they have a lapse. It seems like with certain players. What's wrong with Lubob? Is this just a regular slump? I don't think so. I think if you adjusted certain things, if Ricky didn't do certain things, he'd probably be a better manager. But I feel like Ricky's running into Ricky's own problems.
Look, Yoel Moncada had a huge slump a couple of years ago. Okay, even last year, Eloy had a big slump to start the season because they were pitching him the way they pitched him. Okay, he's a rookie. As great as Lubob started, as great as he's going to be, he's still a rookie. And that's part of it is that you've got it. You need help. You got it. And I agree with you, Rick. Hey, Ricky, move his ass up in the lineup, get some protection behind him. Okay, so they don't keep throwing him all these sliders. And you say, hey, you sit on a fastball, and that's what I don't understand is why because they're not throwing him strikes. They're not throwing him strikes.
Get him in a position where they have to they're forced to throw him strikes. That's at the top of the order.
Yeah, they need to put him at 5.
Okay, you can put him at 5, but if you want to consistently see fastballs and pitches in the zone, you're going to want him at 1 or 2. Because then you have a guy with speed. Sorry, Joseph. Then you have a guy with speed on the bags if he gets walked. That's simple. It's like that's simple baseball, I think. If you got a guy with speed that walks that's struggling and you have to pitch to him and he's been struggling down there, why don't you move him back to where he was? You should have let him work it out.
But he never did the leadoff. He was there once or twice, and that was only because TA was out. TA's the number 1 guy, but you put him in 5, you have plenty of people you can put behind him. You can put Grandal behind him. You can put McCann behind him. You can put Grandal's usually up front. There's people you can put behind him. Edwin Encarnacion. There's people you can put behind him, because I don't want to put him at 1, 2. Like the top of the order is I wanted him there to start the season, but the way Tim Anderson is playing, he's trying to win another batting title. He's looking good, even though it was 0 for 4 yesterday. But nonetheless, still, that top 4 is good. I could put him at 5. All right, right behind Abreu, or you know what I mean? Joseph?
Y'all can put him in between Anderson and Abreu in the 2 spot. Like I said, y'all got 2 MVP candidates at the top of that lineup. You think he's not going to get a hit between those 2? Like, he's going to see better pitches. That's all I'm saying, and I'm going to stay out of White Sox business. But at the end of the day, move your guy up, but don't do it against us because for some reason something's telling me out of all this stuff we're talking today, a lot of these guys are going to have breakout weekends this weekend against each other. They're going to get up to play.
I'll tell you this. I think the Cubs are exactly the team you put Lou Bob in. You put Lou Bob at the top of the order.
That's what it means.
Let's be careful what we ask for.
Hey, I'm being 100. I'm being 100 because the Cubs are struggling just as much as the Sox. But if we're talking objectively, like that's exactly who I would attack Lou Bob with. Boom, a guy that's going to hit a home run like this in the top of the order, and then you got guys that could do it right behind him. You have to pitch to him. You have to pitch to him if he's at the top. Real quick before we go to break, we got Armando Lara the third. He wants to know who's throwing for the White Sox. So today, because we got to go to a break, we're going to take a quick commercial. Yu Darvish versus Dylan Cease. That game is tonight at 7 o'clock, 7:10. Tomorrow, John Lester versus Dane Dunning on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Jose Quintana versus Ray Lopez. That is the pitching matchups for the weekend. Mondo, I appreciate it and hope you caught that. Dylan Cease tonight for the Sox, Dunning tomorrow, and Lopez. Cease, Dunning, and Lopez in that order today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We got to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we have more top of the morning topics. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
They put it down at the Jags' 15-yard line. Breida, the running back. Back to throw, Fitzpatrick. Throws it downfield, caught by Gesicki. Touchdown, Miami.
Dolphins radio with the call and a 31-13 win over Jacksonville on Thursday night. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 touchdowns, leading Miami to the victory. He becomes the first NFL quarterback to notch 6 wins over the same opponent with 6 different teams. The Dolphins improved to 1-2, the lopsided outcome giving Miami its first double-digit victory in 39 games. That ends the longest drought in the league. Fitzpatrick, 18 of 20 passing, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for a score. Jacksonville drops to 1-2. Gardner Minshew, 30 of 42 passing, 275 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
This week at Macy's, it's full on fall, and we're so ready for it with the latest trends for cool and crisp weather ahead. Chic black and white styles will be your go-to. Classic plaids feel bold and put together, and so many bright hues add that extra pop to any look. Plus, you won't want to miss new arrivals from your favorite brands like Inc., Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. Now at Macy's. And Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. More info at Macys.com/Star Rewards.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to have to wait. We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
We are back here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday, baby. It's the weekend, baby. It's going to be a good one. Man, follow the last nice weekend of the year. It's going to be about 80 today. It's going to be about 85 tomorrow. And then Sunday comes crashing down 70s and then 60s all the rest of next week. So, man, I'm fired up. I'm looking forward to it. So make sure you guys get out there, enjoy it. Man, Crosstown Classic is this weekend again. And, man, it has some big-time implications for both teams. So both teams really got to come and show out. Got the Bears on Sunday. We just hired a new basketball coach. Man, I'm fired. Oh, we need something from the Blackhawks, baby. Man, tell us they're signing, I don't know, Robin Lehner back. It will be good. Who knows? I think it has to stay in Vegas, man. I would if I were him, but that's another story. Goodness. Well, the next top of the morning topic. the Pac-12. The Pac-12 has folded under the pressure, and the Pac-12 is about to start their football season. I shouldn't say restart. They're about to start their football season November 6th. You know what? I was wondering. I'm like, once the Big Ten announced that they were coming back in, I was like, well, is that Pac-12? And there are a lot of issues in dealing in the Pac-12. You got in Southern California, you got the wildfires over there. You got the wildfires in Oregon. So, and it's not even that, it's not even COVID. It's the quality, the air quality. Like, you can't even breathe over there. They're telling people to stay in, and they really need to wear masks for double duty reasons, for Corona and for the quality of air that they're breathing over there. So it's, what the Pac-12 said, hey, we're losing too much money, and they're out. Your thoughts, Joseph?
Wow. When you think about the business of college football, the first thing come to your mind is the ROI, and that's return on investments. Okay, so when it comes to boosters, those that got vested interest, they want to see the product out there playing. They don't care about the air quality. They don't care if it was an earthquake taking place. In other words, it's almost like the pimps in the street. You need to get out there and get my money. That's their attitude toward a lot of these athletes. And it's a shame that they're putting the athlete's safety, over their profit. They're putting their profit over the athlete's safety. And that's exactly what you're seeing right now with college football. Their bottom line is profit, not people. They can care less about if anybody gets hurt or anything. As long as they can generate a profit or generate a revenue, they're satisfied.
Hey, you know what they said in Goodfellas? Boop, you pay me. F you, pay me. They want that money. Hey, Dirty, baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. I said, hey. I'm telling you, that's what it's about, man. I think it's a rough deal. It's a bad call. I just want to figure out and see how many college football players do catch COVID. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm just hoping and praying that the worst case scenario does not happen. It's a gamble. And if that worst case scenario happens, my goodness, I mean, there's already been how many games have been delayed or postponed or moved. It's, again, when you're putting people's lives at risk, why? That's my question. Why are you doing that? Okay. It's frustrating. Believe you me, I understand it from their perspective. They want the money. They want it now. They want to wait, like who's that guy, the JG Wentworth commercial? Like, it's your money. I want it right now.
Right. Yeah, like a lot of these corny insurance commercials, very, very similar. But like you were saying, Shawn, earlier in the year, college football is too big to fail. Okay. They're too big to fail. Like, they decided this way before this decision came out, okay? They played along with the trends that was going along with the media. It's all about the safety of the children. It's all about the safety of the children. And then, bam, here we are. Oh, by the way, we had a change of heart. We have to generate revenue, by the way. We have to pay bills. We have to get paid, okay? And the only way we're going to do that is on the back of these college students. So put your uni on, get out there, and don't complain. That's their mentality.
Yeah, it is. And again, it's not. I don't see it. The Mountain West is another conference that has decided to have fall football as well. So there, everything's just falling in line, and the SEC, ACC, and the Big 12, they went on as usual. They had games canceled. They had games postponed. Big 10 followed. Now the Pac-12, Mountain West. If they can get through it in this crazy year, fine. Congratulations to them. I just don't want to see that worst case scenario because, man, I just don't need a person dying just to play college football, just so you can satisfy the contractual obligations that you have for sponsors. When they easily could have been done in the spring, and you still could have met those obligations. So you're treading, you're in some treacherous waters right about now in the college football landscape. But you know what? That's been talked about. That's been talked about. If you don't think it is, you're a fool. Okay, and they're saying, okay, look, if something happens, how much are we going to have to pay? This is exactly like what the drug big pharma does. Right? If we come out with this drug, okay, what are the effects? Okay, what are the positive effects? It can cure this, cure this, cure this. Okay, what are the negative effects? It can cause cancer. It can do that. It can cause death. Okay, if we do that, how much do you think we're going to sell? We'll probably make 25 billion. Okay, if we have lawsuits, how much are we going to lose? 250 million. Okay, all those billions versus 250 million. It's a go. Let's put it out there and let's go. And I think that's exactly what the NCAA is doing. And I think that's jacked up that you're playing around with kids, with young men's lives, and not just young men. Let's keep it real, because you have young men and women, because you got female trainers, you have managers and trainers, and other people in the staff in the office that they're going to come in contact with. I just think it's a very, very a reckless thing that the NCAA is doing, all in the name of profit. But you know what? You know what Maya Angelou said. I don't quote her very often, but when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. And we know who and what college football is, and they really don't give a damn about athletes. They just want that money.
Oh, money. That's all, money.
That's what. Speaking of money, the next top of the morning topic. Did you see this? I know you did, because I sent it to you in the rundown. Major League Baseball and Turner, TBS, TNT Inc., a 7-year deal worth. Are you sitting down? Oh, we forgot.
Get the finger ready.
No, we forgot the decimal point there. 3.7, not 37. 3.7 billion. Where's my cat?
You got to get $7
billion. $3.7 billion. Ooh,
where's the laser beams? Get the laser beams out.
Fire the lasers! Man, you know what? It's a media extension through 2028, featuring TBS exclusive televising the most postseason games of any network. They're also going to have a new Tuesday night live game beginning in 2022, and more stuff's going to be rolled out. Hell, for 3.7 billion, yeah, I'm having more stuff roll out. Oh no, let's not get it twisted. There it is, $3.7 billion.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
So it says they will start airing one wild card game every year, as well as 2 division series games and league championship series. 2 division series. Wow. The featured league, the American or the National, will switch every year, but the league for each season's games on the network will be consistent. So they're trying to take it all. They say, hey, Fox, F you.
Ed Turner's at it again, man. Mr. Elite himself, he got money to waste, man. Like he got money to make and money to spend. So at the end of the day, that man's like a monopoly. He got the movies, he got the sports now. So he's coming, and he does have a great relationship with Major League Baseball. Him owning, I think he owned the Braves, correct?
Braves.
Yeah, and also did he own Atlanta Hawks too, right?
I'm not positive.
Own the Hawks, but at the end of the day, he owns Atlanta. Just put it like that. That's where TBS is. That's where TBS is located. So, yeah, I'm not surprised Ted Turner pulled it off, and you'll see baseball on TBS for many years to come.
Yeah, it's going to be wow, a lot of money, man. Ooh-wee, 3.7 billion.
And you said they're gonna have like a Tuesday night baseball, type of thing, like a showcase, like what I'm talking about, like a Tuesday night
Tuesday night game, yeah.
I like that. I like games the way, like, because you don't really care to see everybody necessarily, but you like to see a big matchup. You'd like to see a big matchup on a Tuesday if you happen to have like a bit, a good pitching matchup between 2 good teams, or even if it was a good pitching matchup between 2 crappy teams. You know what I mean? At least you have a theme, and I like that. I was mad when they took away Sunday night baseball.
Right, and it's the same. Like,
so it was a Sunday night baseball. It was baseball tonight. I'm sorry, baseball tonight.
Baseball tonight, yeah.
And it's very similar to, you know, the NBA on TNT, you know, how successful that was, you know, where that's been going on for over close to 30-something years. So that's been a success. And now he's about to, you know, step it up in the field of baseball, where it probably had that similar format, you know, the three top analysis, breaking down the games on Tuesday night, and you also get to see baseball on Saturday also. So it should be an amazing thing to watch, and I can't wait to experience it, hopefully.
You know what? In the next top of the morning topic, I'm gonna throw you a little curveball here. Just the Chicago Bears, they signed defensive tackle, big defensive tackle Daniel McCullers off the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad. This came in the other day, and I didn't put that in the rundown, so I kind of threw you a curveball. This guy is a monster of a man. He is the guy that they need. He is a big-bodied young man. You know what? Because of what happened to, because of the decision that Eddie Goldman made in sitting out, and again, I have no problem with it. You know, you do what you feel is best for the family. But there's nobody in there who Bilal Nichols didn't do it. All right. Bilal Nichols didn't do it. This guy, McCullers, is 6'7", 352 pounds.
Man, we can use him on the offensive line and
his college tape at Clemson. I know his college, you know, because as compared to the NFL, but
Tennessee. He was selected by Steelers in the sixth round.
Tennessee. I was thinking about the orange, but no, Tennessee. But yeah, he was shedding blocks. He could get all. He could go ahead and move some bodies in the trenches, and he could shed some blocks and make some tackles. He looks pretty good. I mean, we have to see him as far as being a pro, but you know, a big body that could clog up a hole for that defense in the running game. Like, I'll take that. It'll help everybody else out. It has to.
Right. And I think our linebackers are starting to get I think Khalil Mack is starting to get worn down a little bit because, you know, I know last year.
Why? Because they hold him and double team him and triple team him every play?
Yeah, that's true. You know, and I think he just needs a little help. He needs a little relief. Now he got Robert Quinn on the other hand, which can take some pressure off him. You add a big man, a plug in that middle. You know, that's going to cause some double teams. And now he can get back to doing his normal job. But hopefully, mentally, he's not fatigued of seeing all the triple teams and double teams that he's seeing on a daily basis. And hopefully we can get a rejuvenated Khalil Mack on Sunday.
You know, so Jenkins, McCullers was out of Pittsburgh. He was drafted in the 6th round. He played in 73 games with 3 starts for Pittsburgh from 14 to 19. Okay. And I think that's a guy that's going to be very helpful to us because of the fact that he's a veteran. He has been. You're not throwing a guy in who's new. You know, who's green, who's wet behind the ears. This guy is a guy who's played. He also played with Miami as well. This is a guy if he can continue to eat up blocks, man. That's going to be huge. If this guy commands a double team at 6'7", 250, if he does, you know, Ivan, you and I talked about this, and Joseph, I think we did too. But you know, you, if you're soft up the middle, and that nose guard in a 3-4 defense has to be stout.
That's right.
4-3 defense, one defensive tackle could be weaker than the other. Okay, but in a 3-4 defense that the Bears run or other teams run, if that nose guard is not stout and does not command a double team, you will see exactly what you saw in the Bears games, the last 2 games, where guys are just gashing them up the gut. Right. If this guy stops that, watch how different this defense is.
You know, I think Robert Quinn eats this week. I think Robert Quinn. I know he right off the bat, you know, made an immediate impact last week. But I think him and Khalil. I think we finally get to see that tandem feast. You know, in attack. I think this is the week because everybody's riding high on Atlanta's offense. Right. You know what I mean? But I think the Bears are in a position now that they've held teams to, you know, they gave up a lot against Detroit, They didn't. They give up a whole hell of a lot, except for late in the game against New York. But we could blame that on a whole hell of a lot of a bunch of different things. But I think that this is the game where they wake up and they're like, hey, this offense could go ahead and put a 50 piece on us if we don't go ahead and generate some pressure and get after this quarterback. I think Matt Ryan's going to be in for a bad day.
Well, they're starting right tackle. It didn't practice yesterday, so he's doubtful.
That right tackle is Khalil Mack's guy.
That's huge. Julio Jones, one of the best in the business right now, a wide receiver. His hamstring's tight, or he has a hamstring issue, so he might not play. And if he does, how effective is he going to be? If Julio Jones can't get by you, that takes that makes him a lot less dangerous. Okay. Then Dante Fowler, the guy that they signed to kind of up their pass rush, he didn't practice yesterday with due to his ankle. So how healthy is he going to be come Sunday? So I'll tell you what, Atlanta is really, really, really beat up right now, and the Bears are in a good position to go 3-0. And some people will say, and well, it's 3 crappy teams, whatever. You know what? 3-0 in the NFL is 3-0 in the NFL. It is not easy to do, and I'm not putting the Bears in the Super Bowl by any stretch. But what I'm saying is that we'll take it. And we talked about this yesterday or last week. What I say, it's so much better to be working out all your problems with a 2-0 record than an 0-2 record. And You know what? I'll take the problems that we have if we're 3-0 as opposed to taking these problems and we're 0-3.
I totally agree. Like I said, I'd rather be 3-0 at the end of this weekend than to be 2-1 at the end of this weekend. So,
I don't think that they really have recovered from last week. Like they were up 20-0 against Dallas. I don't think they've recovered from the Super Bowl. Truth be told, I don't think they've recovered from the 28-3 collapse. You know what I'm saying? But to do it again, although it's in a regular season game, you had a 20-point lead, and these guys came all the way back, and you pretty much gave the game away. You know what I'm saying? That to the psyche of a team, that could break up a locker room. A loss like that.
Right. They're gonna pull out all their weapons though on Sunday. I already know, because if you were embarrassed on national TV the way you were last week, I know you're coming back this week with all the big guns. So the Bears will definitely get their best shot, but hopefully, while they're giving us their best shot, we're making the necessary adjustments to put them away.
You know what? I think I'm really interested, and I'd say this week is full of stuff, that we need to, Sunday. So Sunday we're going to be watching the final game of final regular season game in the basketball season. Okay, we're going to be watching the Bears. Okay, we're going to be watching the other scores around Major League Baseball. Sox fans, we're going to be looking at the Twins. What are the Twins and the Indians doing? Cub fans, you're going to be looking at the Cardinals games. All right, what are they doing? All right, there's a lot of different things. And then, the next half of the morning topic, we talked about it the other day on Wednesday. We're going to talk about it again. Is Billy Donovan the right fit for this Chicago Bulls team? My answer is hell, Mickey Ficky. Yeah, he is. This dude is a winner. This guy knows how to take teams, how to get the best out of guys who may not be very talented or not the elite players, just maybe really good players, and make them make them know their role. And that's the key thing in a championship team. Know your role, jabroni, and shut your mouth. No, all kidding aside, but you need a role. Most people, if you tell them what to do, they'll do it. Okay. And that's the biggest thing. When you don't know what to do and you're not given a defined role, then you just start doing whatever. All right. And that happens so often with under Boylan staff, under other coaching staff in this city. Define the roles for your players. Say, I need you to do this and this only, and not this. If I need you to score, then you're a scorer. If I need you to rebound, hey, I want you, we're looking at 10 to 15 rebounds a game. I don't need you scoring 20 points a game. Now, if it happens on putbacks and everything else, great. But your job is not to score. Your job is to do this. They will come around. And once you get a defined role, now they're going to fine tune it so they can become the best that they can be. And that's how you get a good team. And that's what Billy Donovan has done with a lot of his teams, is getting them to understand their roles. First of all, giving them a role, then the players understanding their role, and then the players playing their role out to the best of their ability.
That's right. And the thing when it comes to Billy Donovan, he's a two-time back-to-back national champion in college basketball. And he also accomplished the goal of making the playoff all 5 years as the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the thing that I didn't agree with, the Bulls organization kind of lied because they said they were going to hire an African-American coach. So that didn't happen. And I guess those plans went out the door once Billy Donovan became available, because whoever was in the interviewing process, that process was eliminated quickly once Billy Donovan name hit the market. So, unfortunately, that was the downside to it, because I would have liked to see African-American coach along with the African-American GM. The Bulls do have a knack of hiring either college coaches or former college coaches to do the job. And it seems like the players' response to them hiring Billy Donovan was very positive, because I guess Zach LaVine was playing a video game when the news broke. He was like, "Oh no, we just got Billy Donovan. We just got Billy Donovan." He was pumped up, So I saw them working out in the weight room on Wednesday. Guys getting their workout in the Berta Center. Kobe White dancing around. So I'm like, okay, everybody's on a positive note right now. So Billy comes in. Hopefully he can cater to their strengths and allow them to do what they do, especially your guy, Lauri Markkanen, who can probably have a prominent role in this year's offense, next year's offense, because the NBA probably won't start back in January, but a prominent role in next year's offense along with Zach and Kobe. I'm thinking like he did at Oklahoma City. He had that 3-guard lineup, with Chris Paul and what's the two young men that backed him up. In addition to the 2 young men that backed him up, he had a 3-guard offense. So hopefully this will be a perfect fit for the Bulls, because they're very similar with Zach LaVine, Kobe White, which they should have did early in the season. And maybe we can throw a third guy, maybe that 4th round pick. We can throw him in there and let them do damage,
It's going to be fun to watch, because he garners respect around the league. He is well respected by players, coaches, front office organizations. He is well respected, and so to see this guy, and whether it was an African American coach or not, okay, I wanted the best guy for the job.
That's right.
And I think he was the best guy for the job.
Yes, he was.
I think he's the best guy for the job. And you know what? He's going to love it here. He loves the talent he has here. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a fun thing watching Bulls. But I told you, I threw the West Side up, man. We're going to be over on the West Side next year, baby. With these Bulls teams, because this guy's going to get these young men to believe in each other, to believe in one goal, and put them in position to be successful. So it's going to be good. Bulls basketball is back, thank goodness. And I can't wait. I can't wait for it. Hey, Joseph, thank you, Papa. We appreciate it. I know you got to hand off the baton to our guys. Bring him on for a quick second before the break. Kenneth, what's up, Papa? He's from That's Davis Show. Find him on Twitter at That's Davis. Kenneth Davis, what's up, Papa?
Real quick. Now, the show is That Davis Show, but my Twitter handle is That's Davis.
That's Davis.
All right, just so you know. All right, just
I thought I got it right.
Hey, I know since I played with it, you get the pass since I had to tinker with it or whatever. Listen to you guys talk about, listen to you hate and slander black. No, I'm joking. I'm going to be very honest with you. Anytime someone has mentioned Mark Jackson to the Bulls, I've cringed. So I'm not just and I want black coaches to get jobs. But when Billy Donovan got hired by the Bulls, it was eye-opening, because it says a lot to me about Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley to sit there and kind of give away power, because if you think about it, if they would have brought in a first-time coach, they would have had the power over him, basically. But when you bring in someone who his job is more seasoned than you are, I believe you're ceding a little bit of that power. So for them to be like, you know what, that's not the most important thing. Let's get on this horse and let's get to going. Man, it makes you feel good about the Bulls. And I mean, man, I've been a Billy Donovan fan since Florida. That was my last favorite college team, with Joe on there and Al Horford and Corey Brewer. I love that team. And I went into it like, man, who is these cats and this Joakim Noah? And when I started watching, because it was funny, I remember when they was going up against like Big Baby and Tyrese Thomas the first year when they were at LSU, and I actually wanted Tyrese Thomas. I know smack my face because they didn't have any athleticism on the team at the time. So it was like they needed athletics. Listen, I'm just being honest. I've made mistakes. All right, as a sports fan, I've been wrong. All right, I didn't know he couldn't brush his own hair. If you could go back and remember back then, I'm not joking. But to sit there and look at what he did in OKC this last year, I mean, dude, you went and got you somebody. Like that's all right. All right. Listen, now the question is, will this age you down the line and having free agents come to Chicago?
Right. You know what? Yeah, but here's another thing, and we'll talk about it after the break, is you saw your guy. Not only did you see your guy go get him and offer him the money, he wanted to come here because he could have said no. Right. He could have said no. Right. But you know what? The fact is you ended up that money. What are we talking about? Cash rules everything around me. Cream. Get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. And they're like, hey, we want you to come to Chicago. You know what you got. You know what we have over here. You see the roster. You played against us. You see the young talent we have, and we're going to give you some cheddar.
And he's a Long Island. He's a Long Island, New York guy too. You know.
Yeah. He's straight New York.
Because he's hardcore. You know. So
we're gonna get him like deep dish pizza. You know, we're gonna get him like some parlor style pizza. We're not gonna have a slice and eat. No. That's that New York thing. No. We're gonna get you those slices. Send them to Vito and Nick's on the south side. Hey, how you doing? Forget about it. Vito's in the back. You know? We'll take care of you. Forget about it.
Hey, Shawn, by the way, breaking news. My wife made the New York trip happen, man. October 22nd to the 25th.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Made it happen. So much love to the missus.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. You're gonna be coming from the NYC. You got to broadcast with us from. You can't be all starstruck like, oh my God, I'm in my hotel.
I'm doing
the balcony. There's so many lights.
Times Square, I got you.
Joseph on location.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Good stuff. But hey, you have a great weekend. And man, I know you just like us are gonna be watching. You're gonna be watching your team. We're gonna be watching our team, in addition to the Bears, which is all of our teams. But man, it's a hectic week coming to a season coming to a close on Sunday, and then the Bulls, baby. Yes, AK and Eversley went to work, baby. So good stuff. Kenneth and I are going to continue this conversation on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
They put it down at the Jags 15-yard line. Breed of the running back. Back to throw, Fitzpatrick. Throws it downfield, caught by Gesicki. Touchdown, Miami.
Dolphins radio with the call in a 31-13 win over Jacksonville on Thursday night. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 touchdowns, leading Miami to the victory. He becomes the first NFL quarterback to notch 6 wins over the same opponent with 6 different teams. The Dolphins improved to 1-2, the lopsided outcome giving Miami its first double-digit victory in 39 games. That ends the longest drought in the league. Fitzpatrick, 18 of 20 passing, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for a score. Jacksonville drops to 1-2. Gardner Minshew, 30 of 42 passing, 275 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
This week at Macy's, it's full on fall, and we're so ready for it with the latest trends for cool and crisp weather ahead. Chic black and white styles will be your go-to. Classic plaids feel bold and put together, and so many bright hues add that extra pop to any look. Plus, you won't want to miss new arrivals from your favorite brands like Inc., Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. Now at Macy's. And Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. More info at Macys.com/Star Rewards.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to have to wait. We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
We are back here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago, and our guy Kenneth Davis from That Davis Show.
There we go.
Find him on That's Davis. It said, he's got the baton from the 10 to 11 o'clock hour, so we have a lot to talk about. I saw head down. Whew.
Head down. Run through it.
Man, so we didn't get to talk a little White Sox, man.
Do we need to do that? We got to do that, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know
it's Friday.
We're talk a little leading into
you want to enter this week? You want to enter this weekend like that? Oh, okay.
We do got to talk about it, but I know how a diehard Sox fan you are. And we haven't vibed. We haven't had a bitch session about the White Sox. And after yesterday, we need one because, man, Jason called me yesterday. Jason Palmer, you're going to pass the baton out to at 11 o'clock. He called me and he goes, "What is Renteria doing?" And I just turned it off because I went to college football because they're on 4-1. I'm like, "Oh, we're up 4-1. We're good. I'm going to check some college football." And I get the text from Jason. I was like, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" I switched. I'm like, "Whoa, we're down 5-4. What the hell happened?"
Listen, I know that just because you activated some players, it does not mean you had to use them. Now, listen, bummer is one thing. Also, he's used to being in that position. He's a reliever. All right.
Say that again for the people in the back.
He's a reliever. He's used to this. Carlos Rodon has basically been a starter. I know due to Tommy John, he was going to be in the bullpen this season. The little spots he's gotten, he hasn't been well. There was no reason to have him in that game. I'm watching that.
None. Negative reason.
I come in in the 6th. Old lady's like, "Well, you got anything sports to watch?" I was like, "Man, I keep forgetting these Cleveland games start at 5, right? And usually I record them just in case, but I hadn't. Come in the 6th. I'm like, man, I guess I'll take this little punk ass victory, right? Because once it's like you take 3 out of 4, that stings so bad. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe this will help going into the Cubs series or whatever. And to see Carlos Rodon come in there and lay an egg, and I mean, I'm not even putting on him.
No.
Those things. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was actually somewhat happy to a little degree because I was like, I hope the management is watching this, right? Because now you need to be paying attention to, you got this case, even though this could be on management because they activated him and we know they have discussions. Maybe they said he needs to get out there. But the fact that you put in Carlos Rodon in that situation, knowing you needed this victory from that team. And that's another thing, too, I haven't told y'all, and I've been meaning to tell you this for about 2 weeks. I really, really was afraid and did not want to go in the first round up against the Cleveland baseball team. I really didn't. And I haven't said it because I felt like everyone's going to be like, yeah, but their offense isn't really doing what it is and all this and all that. But I never had a good feeling facing this team in the first round, let alone this series. And even more, like, I don't want to touch, and that's no way to get around them because now if you flip, if you're 4 and 5, you're still going to end up facing one another. So it's just, dude, what the hell were you doing? The series, the bats, where the hell are the bats at? All right, where the hell? Man, it's been, this last week has sucked.
As a Sox fan, it has.
This is not the way. Dude, I thought maybe this series, and I know we harken back to, and we live in this Sox vacuum, right? So we usually apply things that happen to the Sox to happen now. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is 05, and I don't think the Sox win that World Series if Cleveland didn't run them down in 05 because they had started petering out, and Cleveland made them basically start playing playoff baseball before the playoffs took place, right? So I'm like, you know what? Maybe Cleveland can get this team really charged up and going or whatever, not knowing that they were going to Minnesota Twins me, right? Like my Twins angst. Listen. I got mad respect for this gentleman. I don't want to see Jose Ramirez again. I mean, and the old lady's like, he looks squirrely. I was like, yeah, he is. No, you don't want any parts of this cat right here. I don't want to see this. Listen, if he bet not, if there's a chance that he steals an award from a White Sox player this year, and he shouldn't, smoke, dude, this series was disappointing, deflating. On top of that, our key, well, not our key, but our most exciting asset this year has been slumping for a month in Lewis Robert. And just seeing him struggle and knowing that, he's going to be fighting to try to get that rookie of the year, and that bad boy is gone. It's like, man, dog, this was not the one. Like this was deflating. And I mean, you know what? And this is another thing too. Beating the Cubs ain't gonna fix this. You know, like years ago, beating the Cubs would have been like, oh yeah, I'm feeling better. Beating the Cubs not gonna. My expectations are so much higher that taking the Cubs, like if you take 2 or 3 from the Cubs, that's good that you did that record-wise, but it's not gonna make me feel good as a Sox fan after seeing what took place this week against the Cleveland baseball team. I won't use.
I know. I think the first time.
They the Spurs now too. All right, because I won't bet the Cleveland Blacks, but like that. All right. So, but yeah, dude, this like, dude, and the thing is too, and I tried to explain to the Carlos Rodon factor, like what he's meant to this franchise, even though he's been hurt. You know, we kept, man, this dude, and for him to come out there and do that, boy, that I wanted to wring Ricky's neck.
You know, it was. You know, and Ricky came out and said, "Yeah, you put that." I'm like, "Yeah, no ish, Sherlock. We know." And you know, the one thing, and that's why I love watching the post game because I love Ozzie and Frank. I love, you know, give me people. Chuck, you just sit there and moderate because that's all you're good for right there. Give me players because I need their perspective.
Even though they should have my girl there, Layla. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, they should.
Because you'd be able to really bounce with them. But please continue.
I like to get their insight, their feel, and the thing that I love about it is that both of those guys are so freaking passionate. Okay, Ozzie, he wears it on his sleeve. Ozzie's like, I cannot say what I want to say because I need my job. My granddaughter need my job. My son need my job. And like, yes, Ozzie, because you know he's ready to rip it in Renteria, and they're taking shots at him, and rightfully so. And he's trying not to, but in trying not to, you can tell when he's stepping around, and he's and you know. He's saying that was a horrible move. And Frank's like, what my thing watching those guys yesterday, I'm sitting there and I'm looking and the passion that they still have for this team. Okay. And knowing that they're in that clubhouse, you know, some years ago, brought the city to heights it hadn't seen in a while since
84 years, 80-some odd years.
Well, since 97 was 98 was the last championship in Chicago before that. You know what I mean?
I meant for the White Sox.
For them, yeah, it was 84. Yeah. So, and the pride that they have with this team, even though the way Ozzie left, you know, Frank was gone, they still have it. And they see, you know, they've been in there. They've been through the wars. They've been in that dug. They know. And so when you talk to me about someone, this is why I love that post game. And Ozzie was just like, man, you know, he goes, this isn't a developmental league. He goes, you don't put him out there to see if he can pitch in a high leverage situation when you're in a pennant race. This is a pennant race. This is not, let's see what he's got. You know, no, you know what he's got. You don't know what he's got in high leverage situations coming out of the bullpen. So let's not do that and find out. But we know we got Aaron Bummer, who's come out, who last year was one of the best pitchers in baseball. Slinging it up there 90 plus miles an hour, 95 plus every pitch, okay, making it difficult. And that's the guy, and he came out too. So why did you put him out second? And man, and when I saw that and you saw the passion, and I was like, and when Jason called me, like I said, because I didn't see it because I switched. I'm like, oh, we got the lead, we're good, you know. And he goes, yeah, he put Carlos Rodon. I'm like, Rodon? I'm like, why did you put Rodon in? I think Bummer came off the list today. He's like, I don't know. And that's when I went back. And you know what? I don't know if he's deliberately trying to give Ozzie that job because he could just step aside now. He can just step aside now, dude.
Hey, not when I'm drinking water. Don't do that when I'm drinking water.
He can step aside now if you like, bro. You know, because my love for Renteria is really,
listen. I wish, and you know, like I said, I don't know about Ozzie getting his job back. I wish Ozzie was managing this team right now because that mistake wouldn't have taken place. Listen, and you brought up a key thing in high leverage situations, right? This was a team that had just kicked the crap out of your team for 3 games. You needed a victory, and you brought in this guy in a situation he's not really even adjusted to from coming out of the bullpen. Now, I don't know if this would have helped, but I would have liked to see him get some bullpen sessions in before you just threw his ass out there. And you still may have not known if he had it because, like you mentioned, it was a high leverage situation. But the fact that was just baffling, dude. And I mean, you know the crazy part about that too? Now he got himself out of that, but Cordero had like a fishy inning right before that. And to me, I would have been like, you know what? We need to get up out of here, right? Like, okay, playtime's over.
Let's put this down.
Let's go, right? Not like, you know, let's tinker a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like you, dude, that one right there. And listen, it goes, and I know at least with Ricky, he was a professional manager before coming to the White Sox as far as being with the Cubs or whatever. So I'm comparing this a little bit to the Billy Donovan situation. You know what? It's time to go get a real dude to come do this job because you got all the ingredients right now. You know what I'm saying? Next year, you're going to have Kopech coming back. Listen, the Crochet kid.
Ooh, Charlie.
You talking about he's going to start? I mean, he's going to be a starter? Dude, what? So, listen, we've even talked about still maybe adding a pitcher. You got pitchers coming as long as they stay healthy. You got bullpen arms. You know, so you got bullpen arms too, as long as they stay healthy. Even though a bullpen can go year to year.
Yes.
You never know when those guys be like, damn, I thought we had a bullpen. And next year it's like, yeah, not really. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Maybe your closer, Colomé, is not really the same dude or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you got everything. And there'll be another year of seasoning for these young players. It's not time to let Ricky keep tinkering with this. It's not a knock on Ricky. You know, it was funny. I'm sitting there watching Sandy Alomar, and I was thinking, this before it fell apart. I was like, man, this should be his job, right? But of course, want to stab Ricky, or I don't even remember if it was Robin at that point because he turned the job down because clearly he knew he was going to be hired when that guy got fired, and he wanted to do. But I'm watching it now. When I first started the game, I was like, yeah, this should be Sandy's job. You know what I'm saying? Just listen. Since we're sticking with Cleveland baseball players, it should be a job. All right, since he was in the minor leagues, all right? Or even sticking with their manager, it should be Terry Francona's job since he was a minor league manager for the White Sox. But it shouldn't be Ricky Renterick's job is the point that I'm trying to get to, all right? And then again, listen, I'm happy he got them this far. We have been wrong in some ways in this him because it does seem like he has grown the football in a Mark Trestman way as far as developing these players. We can't take that away from him. Some of these players have had their best seasons with Ricky being the manager. Thank you for getting us to A to B. It's time to get the C guy up in here because the kids are ready. You used to be the kids. Yeah. Guess what? The men are ready to go and win something, and it's time to get this going to fruition. And we shouldn't waste the season, especially when this year you jumped ahead of the curve early, right? You don't know how healthy you're going to be in future seasons, and you are already close to being capped out as far as how the purse strings are with the White Sox. You know what I'm saying? So stop messing around. If it's going to be Hinch or Cora or whoever it's going to be, let's go get one of these cats up in here right now. I don't care what type of trickery they performed in the past. Has nothing to do with me. All right, just bring me a professional, a guy that can use analytics, but also has the wisdom and instincts, kind of going back to Ozzie. Remember, like people diss Ozzie, but Ozzie back there had an innate ability to know, all right, you know what? No, we need to make this move right now. People like, what? And then it would work. You know what I'm saying? Like when Ozzie was going, boy, his instincts were crazy.
Instincts, unbelievable.
They were crazy. They were crazy.
That's why I want him back now. Just I don't call him Billy Martin 2.0. I don't give a damn. Okay, but bring him back because he's got young guys. And the thing about it, we noticed it ever since they won they clinched the division, a playoff spot. They tanked. Okay, they took their foot off the gas pedal. Ozzie would not have let that happen. Ozzie was getting your ass. You know, remember early in the season when Lou Bob was feeling himself when he was hitting homers, you know, outside of the ballpark. And he was, you know, I'd been like, you ain't rookie of the year yet. Keep coming to work. You ain't rookie of the year. But, you know, that was nice. Do it again. That was nice. Right. You know what I mean? He would have kept the foot, especially on rookies, because you have to keep them on rookies because they can, especially if they see
start smelling themselves.
Early. Yeah, they feel themselves quickly. You know, because baseball's tough. You know, and because you're dealing with. You know, you're dealing with guys who could be 10, 12, 14 years older than you, guys who are first ballot Hall of Famers, guys who are perennial All-Stars. And, you know, for you to have some success, it first of all, it's a testament to you for your talent. But secondly, a lot of times, especially this younger generation, can tend to veer off the path and be like, oh, yeah, I am the ish. And Ozzie would have nipped that in the bud. And you know what I'm telling you, this is the kind of guy who's fiery. This is the kind of
what's up, Jerry?
Shout out to Jerry Manuel, the White Sox.
Oh, the memories! The memories that just flooded in right there.
This is the kind of guy who'll have this team rallied, who'll have him focused, and I think he's ready. He's just sitting and waiting. He's in the minors on NBC Sports Chicago pre and post. That's his minor league gig right now, and I like it. I like it. I want him here, and he, the connections that he has. Dude, how much would Chicago love Ozzie more if he came back and won a World Series with his team?
It's just, I don't know. I think the times have changed. And also, I don't know if all that stuff back then works now. Like it's the becoming a distraction because you don't want to have heat on the team. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's really.
I still like that, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that's really not. You don't see really managers doing that nowadays as much. It's kind of a throwback in a way. And also, I just think it's one of those things where maybe there's somebody out there that can move with this team and can mind meld with them, with their youth and with the physicality that they have. So I'm not strictly opposed to it. But it's just like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there may be someone out there better. The two guys that I mentioned, Cora and Hinch, I would prefer them over Ozzie. You know what I'm saying? Just because I've seen them do it in today's MLB. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've seen them do it with the kind of cast of characters as far as talent that necessarily this Sox team is building and molding. And it will be good to get somebody on the upswing, especially guys who are really trying to prove themselves again, because they've been shamed, you know what I'm saying, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? They've been shamed. So, they want to prove that they didn't win from cheating, even though they did. But still, hey, it's baseball, right?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And I think that you brought up a good point. I think, and you're right, there are no managers to do that. And I think that could really help the situation, because as much as talk, if Ozzie says something off the cuff in post game, everyone's going to run with that's going to be the frontline story. Oh yeah, by the way, Luis Roberts having a horrible year, but did you hear what Ozzie said? And that, and if you notice, a lot of coaches who've done that, they've been very successful. Okay, they may have flamed out a little bit. Okay, at the end of their tenure, like Ozzie did here, but he can. This would be a new tenure. Like Bobby Knight was the king of that.
Listen, wait. Now we know we're going the wrong direction. All right?
No, but I'm saying
we know we're going in the wrong
Hey, check this out though. I think this might be the perfect time for Ozzie, and I'll tell you why. And Ricky's going to get Joe Madden twice. He's going to get Joe Madden twice.
And I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with it.
And you understand why?
I was drinking water, Ivan. I was drinking water. Joe Madden twice. All right.
And you got to think about it. Ozzie, like when Joe came in, Joe was taking the pressure off the Cubs. The Cubs, they had a hot start to the year. So did the Sox. But then the Cubs were 500 up until later in the year. They were kind of just fluttering. Joe took a lot of heat off the Cubs. There should be questions, because that Cubs team, it is and was and won the World Series. But to think about going in there and having all that pressure of 108 years on you without a guy like Joe Madden. Think about coming in there with 100 years with Ricky Renteria on your back.
The field trip. I see what you're saying, Ivan. The themed getaways that you have, the road trips. We had the pajama things, and they're talking about that, and Joe Madden, and they keep interviewing Joe Madden. Well, why do you do that? Well, it takes the pressure off the guys, and everybody's focusing on the stupid stuff that was, but it was stupid to the outside world. But Joe Madden, there was a madness, there was method behind his madness, because it did work for them. So I see your point, Ivan. I still want Ozzie, because I think Ozzie's the man. And you know what? Sometimes we need to bring it back to 2005.
Here you go. This is the problem, guys.
Now, sorry, the meathead in me came out.
I know. Let's talk about liability for a minute, right? And we all, even Ivan, we all being a Cubs fan, we all love Ozzie again. All right, from a player to being the third base coach for the Marlins to being the Sox manager, we wanted to. He was a guy who was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it, and he did it. And he did it in his way. I still believe he should have had more chances to be a manager in MLB, but because and this is the thing that makes it so key, Shawn. You brought up Bobby Knight, and there's a point when these liabilities, as a business, you can't have them and bring them back. Now with Ozzie gets spicy. Now you also got to remember Ozzie's on what, like 4 or 5 nights out of the week or something like that. This isn't everyday baseball where beat writers can mic him and have discussions where he's just off the cuff and he's the center of attention. Because you know what, Ozzy, he's going to say some ish that he should not necessarily be saying, i.e. the Fidel Castro scenario in Miami. All right, of all places. I think in Miami you should know, like, you know what? I can't rock with Castro down here. There's a lot of Cuban refugees in this bad boy. I'm gonna just let that lane glow or whatever. And then the first thing that happens when you say something crazy, they'll go back and be like, yeah, but y'all hired him and he did this. And you can't, like, in a way, like, especially nowadays, you can't have that liability. And you still don't even know, like, dude, listen, what happens when something happens and all of a sudden the son is atting Rick Hahn on the Twitter about some ish or something like, and I was just like, I can't do nothing about it. And it's just like, listen, I can't do that again, Shawn. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not going for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm not. Because listen. It's so, even with the sweep by Cleveland, it still feels so good to be a Sox fan. Do you remember how bad it felt during the Kenny Ozzie spat time? You were so sick of the Sox in general back then. It was like both of them. I'm tired of it. Can we trade him for Mike Stanton at the time, not Gene Carlos, for Mike Stanton at the time? Can we get this done or whatever? I'm like, no, dude, no, I don't want to go back. I'm going back. I'm going to the future. I don't want to deal with the past. We got that rank out of him. Let's keep going. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna love him for life, though. I'm gonna love him for life. He's my favorite Sox manager, but he served his time in this Army. I like to see him doing post game, but nah, we good, man. Let's go get somebody. Thank you. Especially we know the soldier on here. Right? I want you for the foot. I love that one. That's dope. Yeah, man.
Kenneth, I guess me and you are going to agree to disagree on different sides of the fence, man. Because bring me some Ozzy, boy. Bring me some Ozzy, and I think that's what I want. I want him to take the pressure off all these kids. I want him. I just don't, and I think he learned a lesson. You know, as far as that he can go. I think he knows where the line is, and he's going to toe that sucker every single day. And maybe step over, come back. Maybe apologize. But that's the thing. But that's the thing, is like, I just don't want the pressure on these teams. These guys are too young right now. Give me another couple years, and when they're all 24, 25, 26, then okay, now you can kind of handle it. But you take the pressure off those youngsters, and you do whatever you got to do. And Ozzy understands that, and he can do that. Just yeah, I do. I agree with you in that. I just hope he doesn't go too far. I just think that he learned a lot from his past digressions. It happens. When you go through something the first time, you screw it up. We all do inevitably. So, but I think that would be the perfect thing. And dude, they will build a statue for Ozzy. They should already.
If
he comes back and wins a second, they should. You're right.
Oh,
if he comes back and wins the second one.
Yeah, but I'm good. I'm good. It's guys out there that can get us where we need to go, man. Well, listen, we don't always have to be like somebody has to come from inside of the building or have some type of connection to this to get this done, because that's what used to happen on the West Side all the time. As far as the United Center and the Bulls, you got to have some type of connection to. No. This is business.
But those connections never won a world. Never won a series. Actually, Phil Jackson. I should say that. Never mind. That was my point. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, we gotta take a quick break, and we're gonna shift gears. On the other, we're gonna talk a little Bears, baby. Bears, we're going 3-0. We're going 3-0. The Falcons are limping. Some of their wings aren't. They ain't flying. Their wings are hurt. They got their wings.
Julio better be hurt. If that's the only chance they have. But I feel like Calvin Ridley's gonna get busy on that ass.
Yeah, but you know what? That right tackle is he didn't practice yesterday either. So guess what? Quinn. Move Khalil Mack over there. We're going to find your weak spot. We're going to get it. Guess what? We're going to talk to Zach Pearson after this. We're going to ask him what he thinks about this game coming up. Can the Bears put Matt Ryan on his ass multiple times? Can there be multiple meetings at the quarterback between Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack? We'll find out with Zach Pearson up next right here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
They put it down at the Jags 15-yard line. Breed of the running back. Back Back to throw Fitzpatrick. Throws it downfield. Caught by Gesicki. Touchdown Miami.
Dolphins radio with the call in a 31-13 win over Jacksonville on Thursday night. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 touchdowns, leading Miami to the victory. He becomes the first NFL quarterback to notch 6 wins over the same opponent with 6 different teams. The Dolphins improved to 1-2, the lopsided outcome giving Miami its first double-digit victory in 39 games. That ends the longest drought in the league. Fitzpatrick, 18 of 20 passing, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for a score. Jacksonville drops to 1-2. Gardner Minshew, 30 of 42 passing, 275 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at boomernaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330-95.9 The Zone.
This week at Macy's, it's full on fall, and we're so ready for it with the latest trends for cool and crisp weather ahead. Chic black and white styles will be your go-to. Classic plaids feel bold and put together, and so many bright hues add that extra pop to any look. Plus, you won't want to miss new arrivals from your favorite brands like Inc., Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. Now at Macy's. And Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. More info at Macys.com/Star Rewards.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to have to wait. We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
We are back here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday, baby. Any big plans this weekend, Kenneth? We got a lot of sports to watch, baby. You got like 3 screens. What's going on? What you got? What you got this weekend?
I'm supposed to go fishing tomorrow with an old friend. Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're talking about it. So we're supposed to go out someplace like 2 hours away. Just kick back. He says he's bringing a couple of his partners or whatever. So tomorrow. Probably I'm supposed to go fishing. I haven't fished in like maybe a decade. Yeah, so definitely I'm gonna go get a reel, go fishing. Then probably maybe before it starts getting cold, probably take my fam fishing because I got a reel for the boy. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. But what are you gonna be up to?
Not much, man. Watching a lot of college football tomorrow. I'm doing some other stuff, some other projects I'm on. So it'll be a day in most of the day tomorrow. But Sunday, man, my guy Eddie's birthday from Output. This is new book I'm going to try out. He's in Vegas now. He should be coming back today or tomorrow. And so
y'all can get it in then.
Yeah. I already told my people at CrossFit, like, yeah, I might not be at CrossFit on Monday. So if I'm not, you know why. I'm just letting you know now. You can give my spot away because there's a spot we work out outside. Like no one's in, no, that's my spot. That's a super back spot. Like they know, Mug know. And guys are like, no, I got there late one time. And guys are like, no, you can't sit here. You can't work out here. This one's safe. The guy's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, I got you. So they know. Okay. But yeah, I might not make it on Monday. See, that's about watching Cubs, watching Sox, I just want to see how they do. You know, I'll keep an eye out. I'm not going to main TV. No, they're on the peripheral. Bears, which we're going to get into right now with our guy. And man, I'm excited. We're here to go 3-0. So we know what we're going to bring out our next guest. Man, he writes for the Bears, BearReport.com, man. He's a good friend of the program. Glad to finally get him on, man. He's a busy dude this time of season. You can find him on Twitter at Zach_Pearson. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Zach Pearson. Zach, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, I've been August is usually like the busiest month for me. It's like my birthday, my wife's birthday, my grandma's birthday, and it's just weddings all the time. So, yeah, finally glad to be on the new setup. I like this. I haven't been on the video yet, so.
Yeah, I'm glad you have your pants on, which is good. That helps. Hey, so let's get right to it, man. The Bears are looking to go 3-0. Atlanta, there you go, Ivan. See, now you're doing that's just what I'm talking about, Ivan. You know, but Atlanta, my man, Atlanta is hurting. The right tackle didn't practice. You know, not that you need a right tackle when you play football. Their stud wide receiver Julio Jones has got a jacked up hamstring. you don't need a hamstring to run fast as a wide receiver. And their free agent signing from last year, Dante Fowler's got an ankle injury. How likely is it that our Bears can come out 3-0, 1-2 tree?
Yeah, man. For this game, for me, like thinking about it all week, I've like kind of gone to the result that it's probably going to be a coin flip game. Like I could see the Bears winning this game, and I could see Atlanta winning this game. I think it's going to be that close. It's really, for me, it's going to come down to, can the Bears offense move the football on this really bad Falcons defense and secondary? And Dan Quinn, I think he just ruled out, I think it was Kendall Sheffield and Ricardo Allen are both out. The rest of the guys we'll know later on. But this is an opportunity for Mitch Trubisky and the offense to put together a full game, 4 quarters, move the football, and put up some points, because Atlanta's got a pretty good offense on the other side of the ball. And if the Bears defense can't stop them, this could turn into one of those, kind of classic shootout games. And do you really trust Mitch in the offense to put up 35, 38, maybe 40-plus points in this one?
Listen, I said that I believe that the Bears will probably have to score 31 points at least, and that's not including that. Well, that would not be including if they had turnovers, because if they have turnovers, maybe they would score. With the Falcons' injuries, I give the Bears a chance now. But if you asked me last Sunday, and even with the mistakes that they made against the Dallas Cowboys with the onside kick, but still the points, I just couldn't see Mitch being able to score with Matt Ryan and how well this Falcon team scores. So one, let me ask you, Zach, before all these injuries came about, did you think that the Bears are going to be able to beat this team? But after these injuries, how many points do you believe Mitch can score to be able to beat the Falcons? Because I think they're going to have to put up 30 if they're going to be more than 30 if they're going to be able to take this W from Atlanta.
Yeah, Sunday, it was crazy. We were doing the press conferences right after the game, and I looked on Twitter, wherever I was looking at, and I was like, whoa, the Falcons lost that game? Like, that was – and then I saw what happened. Like, oh, and were they allergic to the football on that onside kick or something like that? Because they were just standing around. But I thought the Bears still had a small chance, but I thought this was the game. If they were going to lose any of the first 4, this would probably be it. I think they can beat Indianapolis at home. Now with the injuries, and if Julio doesn't play and a couple more guys are missing, I like to lean more towards the Bears in this game. like you said, man, they're going to have to put up at least 30-plus, very likely to win this game, because if the Bears pass rush isn't getting there, the secondary is really good and they played really well, but eventually you're going to get burned with no pass rush. So I think the Bears, they're going to have to put up that 30-plus. I just, at this stage, like going into the game, I don't know if I can really trust them to put up 30-plus. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope they show me. It's kind of one of those deals. It's like, just, you got to prove it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, we're joined by Zach Pearson from BearReport.com, talking a little Bears football right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. Talk to me about Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack really hasn't got going. He had a 1 sack last week, which was great. Is he healthy? Is he raring to go? Well, just him and Robert Quinn, because those 2 guys, I want them to have a couple of conferences at the quarterback this week. Talk to me about those 2, because if they can have perennial, meetings at the quarterback, man, Chicago, Bear Nation is going to be extremely ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see what happened on that first 3rd down of the game, where Quinn comes in and he gets the strip sack and Mack recovers it. You want to see that a lot more. I think, the thing with Mack is he's dealing with the ankle injury, and I think a lot of these players are still kind of getting used to the new season, and there's been essentially no off-season work. As weird as that sounds, a lot of people will say, well, that's an excuse, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's still out there. I think, after 2 games, we're going to see a little more of it kind of ramp up here. And I think, players should finally be at that level where they need to be. I think once Mack finally fully gets 100% healthy, he'll be at the quarterback more. But it's also not like he's, not making an impact. I think he's 2nd in the league in pressures through the first 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. He's just not finishing the sacks. And, listening, I believe it was the week 2 tape against the Giants. He had something in there where he said, man, he's getting it out quick. And I keep going back for the first week against the Lions. Matthew Stafford was getting the ball out really quick. And that was kind of the game plan. Don't let Mack get you, double team him when you have to, chip him when you have to, but to get the football out quick. And the one play that Mack actually got to Stafford probably should have been a sack, but Stafford kind of sidearmed it away. And I don't remember if he completed it or not. But, Mack's getting there. He's just not finishing these sacks. And I think, that ankle injury is a little bit of a concern in that term. But he's impacting the game even with that ankle injury. And then on the other side, Quinn, I think the same thing with him. He's ramping up. Remember, in training camp, he really didn't practice the first.
No, not at all.
They call it that ramp-up period, and then he got hurt, so it's kind of like a reset. I think we'll start to see him get going here week 3 and week 4. But, if you can get what you saw on that third down, that strip sack from both those guys, and then you get, Akeem Hicks making some plays, I'd feel a lot more confident about this pass rush.
Zach, let me ask you this, sticking with Khalil Mack, and you're talking about the ankle injury. Going back to 2018, when they actually sat him and gave him a game or two off, should they? And I know we're at a period where you need him because this defense isn't what it was, and you look at the fact that you don't have Eddie Goldman, so it's basically all hands on deck. But if you're only going to get maybe 80% out of him, and you really need a guy that is just wreaking havoc on the defense, should they perhaps give him a break and let maybe Robert Quinn get off for a game and seeing what you can use with him, but try to get Khalil Mack straight, because basically that ankle's never going to get a chance to heal if he plays every game.
Yeah, I think if you ask him, he'll say he doesn't want a break. He won't need a break. But, it's a good point because the bye week is really late this year. It's in November, so it's not really the early bye week that they've had where they've been able to rest him a little bit. I think he sat against the Jets, it was, at Soldier Field in 2018. I think it's an option. I just don't know which game. Do you do it against Indianapolis at home? Because you have Tom Brady coming up in a short week after that, and then you go to Carolina. I would say, if they do it, it could be week 4. As of now, I haven't heard anything or anything believes me that it will, unless he, re-aggravates it, or he probably says, I need to kind of sit. It's an option. I don't see it happening right now.
Let's switch to the other side of the ball. Darnell Mooney has come out, and I like the way this young man is playing. He's got a little, he's got great talent, but he's also got that ability to make plays outside of the traditional box, where he's gonna shake you, he's gonna stiff arm you, he's gonna put a little move. Give me your thoughts on him. And do you see him getting more playing time? Because as much as I like Anthony Miller, like that touchdown drop last week, and I'm not going to crucify you for one guy or one play. We've all made bad plays in a football game, but does that compounded with Darnell Mooney's play? And here's the thing why I like Darnell Mooney, and does it compound with more reps? But here's why I like Darnell Mooney. On that touchdown, I guess it was pass reception by David Montgomery. The last block, no block, was Darnell Mooney, where some guys, a young guy, would try to make that block to make sure his guy got in the end zone. He would hit him, maybe in the back, maybe a tweener, and you go for the call. He went and he walked by, and I had to rewind it because I didn't see who it was. And he did perfect textbook. Throw your hands up, kind of bump him with yourself. I'm blocking, but I'm not blocking. And he's not going to get hurt. And when I saw that, I'm like, that was phenomenal football IQ from a rookie.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen from Darnell Mooney, and he's been, one of the standouts in training camp for me. I think, Anthony Miller had the bad game. I think the problem with Miller is he hasn't been consistent when you look at his rookie year and into year 2 last year. Last year he put together a really poor first half of the season and was on fire the second half of the season. This year it's been one good game, one bad game. So for him, it's just consistency. I think, Darnell Mooney kind of breaking out and maybe even Javon Wims getting more playing time actually has a bigger impact on Riley Ridley, because Riley Ridley's been inactive for both games. And you bring up the run blocking. I saw that too with Mooney. I go back to the play. I think it was earlier on that drive, or maybe it was the next drive. Javon Wims absolutely bulldozed.
Destroyed some guy, yes.
Yeah, and he got up flexed. And Mike Murray's talked in all offseason, like, their wide receivers love to get out and run block. They love to get out there and block and hit guys. And maybe that's why, Riley Ridley's not really out there playing, because you can't really have the 6 wide receivers active every game. There's going to be one guy that's pretty much going to be sitting out. Last week there was 2 with Ted Ginn. I think Miller I'd feel a little more confident about than someone compared to Ridley. I do think, Miller has to have that consistency. It feels like the last 2 years all we've talked about is, can Anthony Miller break out? Can he have that big year? And he's shown flashes. He's shown signs of being a good wide receiver. It's just the consistency. For Mooney, it's like, for me now, he's up there in the talks for number 2, number 3 wide receiver. And I think, Matt Nagy's telling the truth. They're going to get him more involved. And the one thing that I'd love to point out here is, in the offseason, Mooney we got a chance to talk to him. He said, yeah, I'm fast, I'm a burner, but I'm not a guy that's going to just run streaks the entire game. And we haven't seen that yet. We haven't really seen that deep shot yet. He flat out said, I can run other routes. And I think everyone kind of took it as, okay, yeah, you can, but you're mostly a speed guy. And he's showing he can run. He's got a very expanded route tree for what I thought he would have coming out of college.
Yeah, he's definitely not a one-trick pony. That's one thing that stood out, especially when you hear speed guy. You think, I think I said this on Monday, you think it's akin to Ted Ginn and as a rookie, it's like, this is all I do. All right, you're going to get this. This is all I do. But when you saw him on comebacks and curls, like, oh, okay, kiddo, I like that. And especially for him to be a speed guy and be so thin or whatever. It was a really good article I read this week about him at Tulane and how he's just adamant about learning the route tree and being the best receiver he can. It kind of goes to what Shawn was saying as far as the textbook block. But look, sticking with the offense, Zach, I want to ask you about Matt Nagy. I feel like perhaps we're not giving him enough due for his play calling this year, because even though they haven't necessarily been scoring in halves, I don't necessarily put that on him, because in the past, I think he would have tried to be too extra in those situations instead of kind of sticking to the script to make sure they win, even if they have to win ugly.
Yeah, I've been really impressed. And, Shawn, going back to last year, you and I have talked on this, that, Matt Nagy kind of struggled with the play calling. Maybe, a lot of blame was to him last season as well as Mitch. I think this year through 2 games, he's called 2 really good games. I could have essentially, I've 3 instances about, where the play calling's maybe been suspect. I thought going for on that 4th down in the first game was kind of a little too aggressive. I see why he went for it. The last game against the Giants, though, when he went empty set on 3rd and 2, and pretty much you're going to go for it on 4th down, and they kind of ran whatever they ran, and then got very, very lucky with an offensive lineman catching it. But, let's give Massey credit. He fell forward.
Right.
He fell forward. So they got very lucky on that. I think, Matt Nagy realizes, I truly believe now he realizes I got to run the ball a lot more. He said last year, yeah, we're going to fix it. I'm not dumb. And everyone was kind of like, well, you haven't fixed it. You haven't really been attempting to fix it. I think this year they got a different mindset. And he talked about it, I believe it was Wednesday. They kind of retooled their scheme a little bit and added in some more run plays this offseason. And it went away from their identity, because his identity is West Coast, short throws, get the ball out quick. Let's keep moving. You hit them with a couple runs here and there, some draws outside zone. They're going a lot of inside zone, too. You watch those last runs with David Montgomery in the 4th quarter. Where were they? Boom, off the right guard, off the left guard, things like that, inside. And if you get David Montgomery going and get that run game going, to me, that's going to take a lot of pressure off Mitchell Trubisky, and it's going to open up a lot of things in that offense. And, you always look at it, play action is perfect. Once you get that run game going, you got the defense biting, you get that perfect play action call, and it could be a big play. So, I really like what I've seen from Nagy so far in the play calling department. I just think now he's got to put it all together for 16 games.
Guys, we're joined by Zach Pearson from BearReport.com, talking Bears football, baby, right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. You mentioned that, and that was one thing that we had talked about ad nauseum. I'm like, give me 30 runs a game, and he's not at 30 runs; he's at 29.5. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. I need that other half. But no, but you know what, because that puts your offensive line in a different mindset, and I love that. This is finally the low hanging fruit, Mitch. How do you think this guy performs? Because if they do have that run game, okay, he still has, it's going to help him out, but he's still Cole Kmet down the goal line behind him. A couple other passes overshot him. A couple other passes short, one hopped him basically. How do you think this guy? Because he's been given everything. That's Ryan Pace's boy. So he's going to get every opportunity to do that. How do you think he fares this week, especially with the amped up running game? Because now Atlanta has to prepare for the running game. But last year they wouldn't really have to prepare for the running game. Now you have to prepare for the running game, which should open up some more windows for Mitch. Give me your thoughts on how you think he's going to play this week.
Yeah, I think this is the week you have to have a good game. You have to string together 3.5, 4 quarters of really good football. If he comes out slow the first 2 drives, okay, you get a little worried. But then if he turns it on after, you're like, okay, kind of resets itself. But he's got to have a good game in this one. And, I said it about the team. The Bears are 2-0, and they've played essentially 3 good quarters this entire year after the 8. That's the same thing with Mitch. He's played 3 really good quarters. And I do think the second half of the Giants game, he was a little better. I think they could have made some throws. You could pin the interceptions on him. You could put him on Robinson. I think there's an argument for both ways. I just need, I don't know, maybe as a Bear, watching the Bears and growing up as a Bears fan, you're just so used to defense, and you really don't know what a true passing attack is like. If you're just out there throwing for 300, 400 yards a game, everyone's heads are going to explode. And that's what I want. I want a passing attack, a vertical threat. We just haven't seen it so far this season. Like you mentioned, they've missed some throws. He's looked really good. It's like in the fourth quarter against the Lions, he just flipped that switch, and he made – the throw to Anthony Miller was one of the best throws I've seen from him. And then to come back in the next game, I thought the throw to Anthony Miller in the end zone that he dropped was probably arguably a top 2, top 3 throw from Mitch we've ever seen.
Definitely.
It's unfortunate he dropped it, but he has flashes where he's like, man, this kid has arm talent, and this kid can throw. He can make plays. I like to say this. I think Mitch is at his best when he's in that backyard type football, where he's not thinking as much. He doesn't have to process as much of the defense. Go out there, sling the football, and make plays. And I think week 3, if you get into that shootout, typically a quarterback, when it's a high-scoring game and they're kind of in that rhythm with a shootout, they'll play that backyard-type style football. Will Mitch be able to do that for a full four quarters on Sunday? I think he's got to. You have to see that one game where he's just on fire. But if he doesn't, I don't think the leash is actually that short for Nick Foles. I know a lot of people were calling for Nick Foles in the first game. I think it's going to take a lot more than one bad game. Like if Mitch comes out and stinks it up on Sunday, I still don't think they'll go to Foles right now.
Real quick, because you just brought up something that we were talking about on my show. To think about Packers fans and to go into every game to say fourth quarter, man, we can win this game. And you just mentioned being a Bears fan, we've never had that in our life. I mean, just think about in our life, we never do. We got that guy. It doesn't matter. It's ridiculous, and I'm tired of being abused.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing we had was Cutler, but it wasn't with Cutler in the game, you knew you were going to get 300 yards passing, close to that. But you also knew you were going to get the 2 crazy interceptions.
I was about to say. That's what Zach's about to say.
Long time. Yeah, I'd love to have it, but, I mean, I don't know. I think Mitch has an opportunity. Play your game. You have a defense that's very vulnerable. They're among the worst in the NFL. Play your game and just, go out there with that touchdown to Mooney. He kept it all alive. He was directing Mooney where to go. It felt like you were with your friends in the backyard. Hey, go here, run here. I want to see a lot more of that from Mitch on Sunday.
And Zach, I'll tell you what. Here's another thing to further lend credence to my thing on Mooney. He came back and he created separation. When that ball was in the air, he waited, and the DB was right on his back, and then he jumped forward, coming back to the ball, so the DB didn't have a chance. And then he caught it, and the DB, you saw the DB reacted, but he reacted so late. The only thing he grabbed was his legs, and he's already standing in the end zone. That was another. See those little nuances like that are things which made me give me a lot of anticipation, a lot of high. Those little nuances in the game like that.
When you watch Tyreek Hill play, he's going to burn you. I mean, he's really good wide receiver, but there are so many times you'll watch and DeMarcus Robinson and McCole Hardman, when Patrick Mahomes is in trouble and he's rolling out, what do all the wide receivers do? They come back to the football and they create separation. And that's exactly what you want.
Yeah. So, hey, it's going to be a great game. So, before we let you go, score, give your prediction.
Yeah. Prediction? Man. Okay. So I made a prediction earlier in the week. I had the Bears winning 28-24. I think with the injuries, I'm still going to go Bears. I'm going to say, I think they're going to go over that 30-point hump. I'll say it's like 38-32, something like that. I think it'll be a high-scoring game.
Okay. Yeah. Guys, he is Zach Pearson, BearReport.com. Where else can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Zach, ZACK_Pearson. And you can read my work on BearReport.com.
Have a good weekend, Zach.
Great stuff, buddy. Bear the freak down, baby. Bear the freak down.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for having me.
Now.
Cool.
Guys, that was.
I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish so we can.
Listen, you mentioned something, and I do have to nitpick on Darnell Mooney about one thing, right? He caught that touchdown, and you know what he should have done? He should have kept stepping because that DB was a nice young man. Because, and you know from playing football, that DB stopped from hurting him, and it wouldn't have been that DB's fault because he was going forward, and he was going. You remember like when somebody used to come up behind you and do like this and clip your, and you know being a big guy, sometimes you be like, stop doing that. I got too much weight. You can really hurt me doing that. That's that DB basically stopped from doing him, and that kid. I was like, kid, you cannot just stop. Like, I know you want to sit there and be regal that you score, but you got to take another step because that dude was about to mess you up, and he just dropped. I was like, that's a nice young man. I was like, that kid doesn't want to hurt another.
He was going right into the back of those legs, and I was like,
that's my only nitpick. That's my only nitpick is. Don't do that again. Like, take another step, right? You can't have somebody falling behind you and you just stop, right? Like, don't do that, kid. I know you flexing, all right, but we need you healthy, all right? We really need. But that's my only thing that I have to say on that.
If that's the only thing, that's a good thing because you know what, and it's right. That's another small thing, but he'll learn. He'll learn, especially if the dude does hit his legs, you know, and he's like, whoa, okay, yeah, because you feel it. It'll be good. I really like this kid though. I really like this kid. He has that ability. Like he tries to get by it. He doesn't get it and then just turn upfield and run. No, he tries. He gets you. He squares you up and then tries to shake you. Go. You know what I mean? Things like that. And there's nothing wrong with guys who get it, turn around and run. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm talking. We're talking playmakers. Okay. There's a way to play the position that's by the book, which a lot of guys have. And then there's a way to play the game where you play it your own way, like a Deshaun Watson, like a Patrick Mahomes, like some other guys who do that like Drew Brees. You play it your way, and you're still successful. And Aaron Rodgers, I hate saying that name, but God, he's so freaking good. He's so damn good. But you know what I mean? And he's got that in him. He's just a rookie. We just got to bring it out and cultivate it more. And he can be one of those. He could be one of those guys. I think he'll take a 6-yard curl. Shake you for a second, give you a fake turn inside, bust outside, and be like, oh snap, and then with that speed, I see you. You know what I would really love though. I don't know if you remember. I think it was with Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State. Hartley Dykes was the wide receiver, and so he was a wide receiver. He was number 11. I'll never forget it. It was in Sports Illustrated. This dude was a stud. And he had so many long touchdown passes. And he had, in college you wear towels and stuff. I have my towel. I used to wear my towel the night before the game and everything. But I digress. Look good, feel good, play good. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in college, you had to have that towel.
You had a pimp because you don't know who's going to get you on camera. You know what I'm saying? I want that picture in the paper. I want to be like, see that wristband around my ankle? He's that. See that purple Holy Cross wristband around my ankle? Yeah, you like that, don't you? So he had a towel that said it was in his back. Had a towel that says bye bye. It says a heart, and then inside the heart number 11. Bye bye from me.
Okay. I got you. Take out my smoke. Take out my tail. I got you.
And the best. Who was it? I used it one time too, and I forgot where I got it from. It was like something to the effect of sorry, I can't stay. I got reservations for 6.
I like that. That's dope. I like that.
Oh man. Hey, Kenneth, great stuff, Papa. We're gonna bring our guy. You're gonna pass the baton off to our guy. He's one of the co-hosts of What's Up, Cuz. Him and his cousin Lance C. Irvin. Man, you can find him on Twitter at Jay Coyden. Man, let's bring him in. Jason Palmer. Jason, what's up, Papa?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Look at you with the U out in the nice weather.
What's up, Jason?
It's rivalry weekend, baby. Miami and Florida State. So just a big sports weekend. Everything going on. Miami, Florida State, Cubs, Sox, Bears, Falcons, all sorts of chaos we got to discuss coming up on the show. So I said, let me go with my team right now and see if we can beat Florida State this year. I'm a little upset with my baseball team.
Okay. Well, listen, we got to get going because we're going to talk a little White Sox on the other side of the break. Kenneth, great stuff, Papa. We appreciate it. We'll see you on Monday. Appreciate the time. Maybe I'll text you like, what the hell happened? During the Bears game.
When you said that he texted you about sit there about Rodon and to watch that game, dog. Listen, I don't even want one of those texts. You know, I'm already upset. You know what I'm saying? I'm already hot. It's worth something. You're like, are you hot too? I don't even want it. But you two have a good week, man. The weekend, man. I'll let you.
You too, man.
Thanks, Kenneth.
Hope you catch something good.
Thank you.
All right, we got to take a quick break. But Jason Palmer is going to take he's gonna co-host with me for the last hour of the show. So we're going to take a break because on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about the good guys and their implosion. My goodness, you just got swept. It was like, thank you, sir, may I have another? Thank you, sir, may I have another? Man, by the Cleveland Indians, and that was frustrating. So we're going to talk to Patrick Nolan from SoxMachine.com and see what is going on with the good guys. Should we be really worried? Because I'm really worried. So don't go anywhere next. Up next, Patrick Nolan from SoxMachine.com right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
They put it down at the Jags 15-yard line. Breed of the running back. Back to throw, Fitzpatrick. Throws it downfield, caught by Gesicki. Touchdown, Miami.
Dolphins radio with the call in a 31-13 win over Jacksonville on Thursday night. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 touchdowns, leading Miami to the victory. He becomes the first NFL quarterback to notch 6 wins over the same opponent with 6 different teams. The Dolphins improved to 1-2, the lopsided outcome giving Miami its first double-digit victory in 39 games. That ends the longest drought in the league. Fitzpatrick, 18 of 20 passing, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for a score. Jacksonville drops to 1-2. Gardner Minshew, 30 of 42 passing, 275 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
This week at Macy's, it's full on fall, and we're so ready for it with the latest trends for cool and crisp weather ahead. Chic black and white styles will be your go-to. Classic plaids feel bold and put together, and so many bright hues add that extra pop to any look. Plus, you won't want to miss new arrivals from your favorite brands like Ink, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. Now at Macy's. And Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. More info at Macys.com/Star Rewards.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to have to wait. We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday, baby. It's the weekend, baby, and I am fired the freak up. I'm excited. You talked about it, baby. Rivalry weekend, rivalry. Say that again 5 times really fast. Rivalry weekend. And I didn't even go out drinking last night. What the hell's wrong with me? Rivalry weekend. You're talking the U versus Florida State, and then the good guys on the south side taking on the scrubs up north. Sorry, Ivan. You know how I feel. I never hid that from you. So it's gonna be a good one. You know what? My good guys are struggling, man. Ooh, see, there you go. There you go with that nonsense, dude. There you go with that nonsense. Oh man, our guys are struggling, man. You just got swept by Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians, and that was really, really heartbreaking. The last 2 games, or the last 3, really. The middle 2, the 2 walk-offs were. Whew. So should I be on the ledge? We're going to bring in our guy and find out. He is the editor over at SoxMachine.com. He's a good friend of the program, and we're glad to have him back. And you can find him on Twitter at SoxMachine, at SoxMac at _P Knowles. Let me say that again. SoxMachine _P Knowles. See, I can't even speak this morning. I'm so fired up about the weekend. Guys, let's bring him out. Patrick Nolan. Patrick, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Much better if I know how to speak. SoxMac _P Knowles. There we go, man. So talk to me, man. We're a fickle bunch, Sox Nation. You know, we are a very fickle bunch. We're very negative. Usually, hey, it's only been 15 years since we won the World Series, so you know. But talk to me about this Ricky Renteria move yesterday, dude. That was, you know, Jason texted me yesterday because I just switched because we were up 4-1. You know, I'm like, let me see some college football. You know, we're good, we're fine. Give me your thoughts on what were you thinking when you saw him bring in, you know, Cordero and then Rodon?
Well, you know, I think generally I'm fine with Jimmy Cordero. And, you know, if you look at the contact that he allowed, I mean, I know he's not like a premier strikeout pitcher or anything, so he's going to be sometimes vulnerable to giving up some cheap hits, but they were really cheap hits, and I don't really find a lot of fault with Cordero there. But bringing in Rodon is kind of interesting. You got a couple of lefties coming back from injury, and each of them possibly playing a prominent postseason role. And, you know, since you're trying to break in both of them, I don't know what the logic is behind going to Rodon instead of Bummer, especially because Bummer is a guy who, you know, they're expecting to be a premier fireman in the bullpen. And that's exactly the type of situation that you're going to want to see Aaron Bummer succeed in the postseason. So I kind of thought it was a little bit of a head scratcher. I mean, maybe what he's thinking is Rodon is going to be used out of the bullpen, and we want to see if he can be applied in a situation like this and how he'll handle it. But that might not have been the greatest choice to kind of deploy somebody who's had all sorts of injury concerns in the past and is kind of used to being a starting pitcher and, you know, coming in each inning with the bases empty. So I personally would have gone to Bummer. I understand a little bit of why he went to Rodon, but it certainly seems like a mistake.
You know, did you watch the post game yesterday? Ozzy and the Big Hurt were just livid. They were livid. And I just said one thing in that that rang true to me. He's like, this is not the developmental league. Like, you don't try. This is a pennant race. You don't try and see if a guy can do it in this situation in the middle of a pennant race. If the Sox are up 5 or 6 or down 5 or 6, okay, then you put him in and kind of work him back in. But in a high leverage situation like that, you know, I think you go with Bummer. I agree with you 100%. Bummer's a guy last year was one of the best relievers in the game. And this is something that he's familiar with. He's comfortable with. So I don't know what – one of the things I was kidding. I don't, maybe it's kind of partly true. Is he like – do you want Ozzy back? Because I know a lot of people – some people like Ozzy. I don't mince my words. I want him back. I hope he gets this gig. You know, is Renteria really screwed himself? And do you see Renteria possibly getting let go? Because he's made a couple of poor decisions this season and last.
Yeah, you know, I mean, behind the scenes, everything seems to check out pretty well. I mean, his players seem to be, you know, fans of playing for him. And obviously the tactical decisions with Renteria, they start to grate on you. And I think that they're magnified in a situation like this where where a team's on a losing streak and we've, you know, only got a few games left to try to get back on top in the division. I will say that before this series, I was happy with his bullpen decisions. He was never afraid to pull the trigger on going to guys like Foster or Cody Hoyer in the early innings when the situation demands it. But certainly a lot of mistakes down the stretch in this series. We've had problems with the way he's put together his lineups over the course of most of the season. So there's definitely warts. I feel like some of this stuff might be correctable. Maybe Rick Hahn needs to take more of an active hand in saying, you know, this guy goes into the game when. It's clear that these tactical mistakes are costing the team down the stretch. As far as wanting Ozzy back, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's been situations where, like, towards the end of Ozzy's tenure, it seemed like he had kind of checked out on the team. And it's like, I feel like White Sox fans get locked into this idea just because Ozzy is like around the post-game show and around the team, that it becomes this thought of, oh, if we get rid of Renteria, well, we're going to bring Ozzy back. It's like, there's no third choice, right? Like, it's got to be guy who's currently here or a guy who was here before. So I feel like bringing Ozzy back, you know, he had some great seasons for the team back when they were competitive from 2005 to 2008. Even 2010 was kind of a nice resurgence, but it seemed like towards the end of 2011, he was kind of overstaying his welcome. And I think that it would kind of be if they were to move on from Renteria, I feel like Ozzie would be kind of an unimaginative choice. I think that they should probably expand their scope a little bit if they really were serious about replacing him.
Yeah, Patrick, my thing with the whole Ozzie Guillen thing is I think right now the White Sox are missing that tactical manager. You said it's tactics. They've done all the studies. They say a manager can either win or lose you typically 3 or 4 games throughout a year. Well, in a 60-game season, we've seen Renteria lose at least 3 or 4 games already just off of some of his decisions. Is there even any sort of talk from Rick Hahn or Kenny Williams, anyone within the organization about the managerial process? Because I can't remember Hahn doing the interview since the season has really begun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's anything going on behind the scenes. It's a pretty loyal organization. And if you recall the Robin Ventura debacle, I mean, the guy basically had to fire himself. So I really don't think there's any sort of, in-depth search to try to replace Renteria going on right now. I think that if I had to guess, he's still going to be the manager of the team next season, and there's and he won't be replaced. But I don't think that they tend not to pull the rug out from under a guy. Like even if you look at what was going on with the Bulls and Jim Boylan, like a Jerry Reinsdorf organization seems like they're going to hang on to a guy much longer than the situation merits. So I don't know that we're going to see this. That some Sox fans might want this in-depth search for somebody who might be better and might be able to push some better buttons when the situation demands it.
Patrick, I love, and first of all, we're joined by Patrick Nolan from SoxMachine.com, talking a little White Sox baseball on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. I love the way you said that. They keep him longer than the situation merits. That's freaking awesome. That's awesome. Talk to you about some of our superstars, man. My goodness, Luis Robert is a 0 for 28. He's 6 for 70 with 1 homer in the month of September. What do they need to do to this guy? Because this guy, he's swinging at balls that are rolling to the plate and airmail. This guy is just totally not locked in. What do they need to do to get him on track?
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for a 60-game season because when the league catches up to you a little bit, you don't really have a lot of time to get on track before the playoffs. I think that Robert would be a guy who would really have benefited from a 162-game season. But, the situation is what it is. Renteria finally did give him an off day yesterday. I think that was probably a good move because if every day you're coming to the park and every day you're swinging and missing, like that can't be a good feeling. And just taking a day to reset himself and maybe sitting out for a loss like yesterday will get him some hunger to get back in the lineup and maybe start to feel like he can make an impact again. But the fact of the matter is, he came into this league, pitchers were kind of unfamiliar with what he was capable of. He got some hittable pitches. He was able to punish those pitches. And now I think that some of the concerns that people had coming into the season, and not long-term concerns, just kind of breaking into the league concerns about, Robert had some issues in AAA with laying off sliders off the plate. And now you're seeing he's getting a steady diet of those. And I think he's so worried about that pitch now that even when he's getting fastballs in the zone, he's not able to catch up to him. I mean, we saw that the other day with Shane Bieber. Like Shane Bieber threw him pitches right down the pipe, and he wasn't able to do anything because he's so worried about the breaking ball. Steve Stone commented on that in the broadcast. So it's unfortunate that we're only a few games away from the postseason, but Robert's a mess right now, and I think that all we can hope for is that the Cubs do not have the premier strikeout quality pitchers that Cleveland has, and hopefully he's faces some pitchers with a little bit lesser stuff, not necessarily lesser command, but lesser stuff in the final 3 games of the season. And hopefully he has something positive to hang his hat on before we get into the games that really count.
I thought about that too, Patrick. And, personally, I'd sit Robert tonight as well. I wouldn't put him against you, Darvish, but I would definitely play him against Lester. I would definitely play him against Quintana those final 2 games of this series. And the White Sox have punished lefties, so I'm very confident they're going to take 2 or 3 from the Cubs this weekend. But there are 2 other guys I want to talk about, and I think White Sox fans have also been kind of confused on this. Who in the world did Adam Engel shoot in the White Sox organization? They're refusing to play this guy. The second thing was, while Yomer Sanchez hit the home run yesterday, and we did bring him back, I thought Danny Mendick was playing some great baseball. I thought to send him down sends the wrong message as well. I'm still upset that Zach Collins is not up with this team, and we have to watch Edwin Encarnacion strike out on a daily basis. I'm just not understanding some of the decisions in this organization when it comes to their young, talented players. Is there something you can speak on regarding that, especially Engel? Because I think we're all confused on this.
Well, with Adam Engel, I will say that for the past several years, Adam Engel has gotten more chances than a lot of people thought he should have had. And I think part of it is because the White Sox simply refused to get anybody better. But Adam Engel the White Sox have stuck with him through a lot of struggles. And you're absolutely right. He is playing better in every aspect of the game than Nomar Mazara. And I think that if Engel is not starting over Mazara as soon as the playoffs start, that's going to be a real problem for me. I think that what they're doing is recognizing that they did make some investment in Nomar Mazara. There's only a week left in the season here. I mean, now obviously there's only a few days left, but I think in this last week, they were just trying to see if him and maybe even Encarnacion could, catch lightning in a bottle and maybe snap back to, what the expectations were for these players when they acquired them. But failing that, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think either player has done anything in these last couple of weeks here to really dispel the idea that they've been disappointing. So I'm hoping that they'll see the light and they'll start Engel in the postseason. But we'll see what happens. I mean, the White Sox have done plenty of things I've disagreed with before. With regards to Sanchez and Danny Mendick, I think this is kind of one of those first impressions is lasting impressions thing. He was taking a lot of quality at bats. When he first came up, his numbers were good, but he slumped really, really hard and was striking out a lot before getting sent down to the point where his aggregate numbers on the season are really not very good. And I don't, with regards to him over Sanchez, I don't know if it matters too much to me in my mind which one they pick. Sanchez has, for what it's worth, in a very small sample, hit better than Mendick, and I know that they trust Sanchez's glove a great deal. But Danny Mendick, he's still going to be around next season. I don't think that this is any sort of writing on the wall that they're done with him. I just think that they recognize that he was in a pretty bad slump, and they have this guy who won a Gold Glove for them last year, and they feel like he can be maybe a better plug and play option at this point. So that's kind of my thoughts on that situation. But I still think Danny Mendick can contribute here for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Mendick. I really like what he did. He was for a while. Yeah, I agree with you. He was, man. You talk about clutch, solid second baseman. Great. I love them. And you need those role players. You need those guys who are not flashy or not superstars, but just solid at their position. That's what Danny Mendick did, and came up with some clutch hits. But one of the other guy I want to talk about is Eloy. He seems to be an enigma. He's so goofy at times. I called him a pescado. It's fish in Spanish because he kept getting caught in the net. Thank you, Ivan. I knew that was coming up. So I called him the fish in Spanish because we had La Pantera, so now we have El Pescado. But this guy, he got 14 home runs this year. What is with him? Why do you think this guy continues to get hurt? So he slides in the home plate yesterday, and he's injured. And what happened? Any word on that? But give me your overall thought on him, because he just seems softer than wet paper.
Yeah, I mean, some guys, it's just the way it is with some guys. I mean, it's kind of a cop-out answer, but health is a skill, and some players are just, less good at putting their body through the ringer than others. I mean, honestly, I'm holding my breath whenever a ball is hit to short left field or hit over its head by the wall, because you never know which slide, which dive, which collision is going to be the one that sets the guy out for, months at a time. And that's unfortunate. Like I'm not close enough to the situation to say, there's something wrong with his conditioning, but it does seem like there's guys that come into the league that are talented and injury prone, and there's just no way around it. People have said, why not just make him a DH to kind of protect him? And, maybe down the road that could be a possibility. But I mean, you've got Jose Abreu and Andrew Vaughn to kind of soak up the first base DH opportunities in the near future. So I think that they're going to have to, live with him playing left field as long as both of those guys are in tow. So, it's unfortunate that he seems to be on the fragile side, but That seems to be the way it is, and maybe the White Sox can just try to coach him to, preserve his body, kind of like a quarterback that you don't want, taking any chances, running the ball themselves. Maybe we need to accept, all right, some of these difficult balls, maybe they've just got to fall just so he can stay in the lineup.
Guys, we're with Patrick Nolan. He's the editor of SockMachine.com, talking a little White Sox baseball right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
So we've seen Rodon and Bummer come back. The other person I was wondering about was Lurie Garcia. I think sometimes we forget how many weapons the White Sox have lost due to injury through this season. Is Lurie down for the rest of this year, or is it a possibility he can come back during the playoffs? And if he does, who do you remove from the roster if you want to stick Lurie in there?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, especially with a 28-man roster for the postseason. Lurie Garcia, I think he could potentially come back at some point if the White Sox make it deeper. I haven't heard anything to suggest he's going to be ready for this first series, but they did say that at some point in October he potentially could be ready. If he does, I think that they will have to take a really long, hard look at whether Nomar Mazara is really giving them anything at all. Personally, I don't see a reason to use that guy in the postseason. If he's not able to hit right-handed pitching, he doesn't offer anything else. He's obviously helpless against lefties. He's not much of a defender. I think literally his only qualification to make a postseason roster right now is outfielder. And just because he is a person who could technically stand out there and has experience chasing fly balls down at the major league level. But if Lurie Garcia comes back, I mean, he becomes immediately the most useless person on the roster to me. And I would hope that they would kind of cut bait at that point. And, they don't need to keep him next season. They could simply non-tender him. So I think that similar to what happened with Steve Cishek this week, they're going to have to the writing's going to be on the wall at that point that they're just not going to pay him, a mid 7-figure salary next year. And I think that that's a point where they would want to cut bait.
Yeah. I forgot that they did remove Cishek. I thought Cishek was losing it in the second half of the season last year with the Cubs. I don't know if it was overused. I don't know if people were getting used to his arm angle, but you could see it last year. He was starting to lose it, and then he really didn't give you anything this year for the White Sox. That said, though, I do think the White Sox have a very, very strong bullpen right now, and guys are settling into their roles. And I think we're really excited about this Crochet guy. Can you talk a little bit about the White Sox bullpen and specifically Crochet?
Yeah, I'd say now that it's finally coming back to full strength, especially getting Bummer back is huge. Rodon, I mean, okay, Rodon's not the most, comfortable pitcher to come into the game at this point, but at the same time, he probably has a higher upside than a guy like Ross Detweiler in the pen. Evan Marshall's going to come back soon, presumably replace Jose Ruiz, and then you have a bunch of guys in your bullpen who you really trust. And I think that it's going to be a strength for the White Sox in the postseason, and probably one they're going to have to rely on a lot, because if they start guys like Dane Dunning or Gio Gonzalez or Reynaldo Lopez or Dylan Cease, I hope not Cease, but that's a whole nother pet peeve for me. But
next question.
but if they're going to have to get a lot of innings out of this bullpen, and fortunately they have a lot of guys who they should be able to trust in these situations. And Crochet, what a weapon! I mean, you coming into the last couple weeks of the season, this guy shows up from honestly probably off the. I know he's a first round pick, but like off the radar for a lot of people, because I don't think it was on the minds of anybody that he was going to come up and contribute. And then all of a sudden you've got this 100-mile-an-hour gas coming from the left side that major league hitters are having a lot of trouble with. And, you pick up a weapon like that, it could be kind of like an Andrew Miller type boost to the bullpen. And I like that Renteria is starting to get him in the high leverage situations as soon as possible. So he's kind of had a little bit of a trial by fire in that respect, and he's passed with flying colors. So definitely a very exciting development as we flip the calendar to the postseason.
All right, it's a big weekend this weekend. Sox, Cubs. We're jockeying for position, trying to win the division. It's going to be a rough one. I believe tonight's going to be the roughest of the rough ones, because Yu Darvish is he's dealing, but I think we can get at least 2 out of 3 with Lester and Q, unless Q pitches out of his mind on Sunday in the Q revenge game. Who knows? But anyway, it's gonna be fun. Hey Patrick, great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it. Do me a favor though, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
You can find my work at socksmachine.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at socksmock_pnoles. That's SOXMACH_PNOLES.
Hey, good stuff, buddy. Appreciate it, man. We'll be in touch soon.
Great. Yeah, looking forward to it. Take care, guys.
We'll be talking playoff baseball. Yes, baby. Yes. All right, buddy. Have a great weekend. Guys, that was Patrick Nolan from SoxMachine.com. Talking a little White Sox with us. Yeah, it's hurt, man. This stretch has really hurt, Jay. It's man. It hurt. It hurt, and just to see the look on some of these guys' faces because they know they're struggling. Man, you know what I mean? It's frustrating as a Sox fan, but also as a former coach. Like I feel for them. Like I've seen that look on some of my players' faces, who were struggling. It wasn't baseball; it's a different sport, but it doesn't matter. When you're struggling, you're struggling, and to see that look on their face, with the talent that's in that clubhouse. Yeah, it can be frustrating.
Yeah, this was a rough week for Chicago baseball in general. I mean, I think the Cubs are in the same situation. I think, more of the media coverage actually has been focused towards the White Sox problems because they're so glaring. But the Cubs have got their own sets of issues as well. I've been trying to watch them and figure, why y'all can't hit, especially against Pittsburgh. So,
that's been for 3 years. That's been for 3 years.
I mean, this has been a rough week for Chicago baseball.
Yeah, I actually got a question for you, Jason. So you had commented earlier when we were talking about Eloy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Eloy? I know I might be a little too hard on him, but I could see something that if you don't correct it, it could be detrimental to the team and the player.
So here's my thing with Eloy. I think his personality is his personality, and you don't want to change his personality. He's loosey, he's goofy. That's fine. It takes a bunch of personalities to make up a team. My problem with it is the slide that he got injured on yesterday was completely unnecessary. I don't even know if the throw was even coming to home, but there was no reason whatsoever for him to slide. And what Eloy has to understand about his own body is that he's a big guy, he's a strong guy, but what he lacks is agility. And I think that is what gets him injured, that lack of agility. He's got to learn his body. So he can either work on his agility in the offseason and get a lot better. But, I mean, he's a big guy. He may not be the most agile guy. Maybe that's just in his genes, and I'm cool with that. But you have to understand your body and its limitations. And if there are certain limitations you have, because, I mean, we've seen him look like he was getting ready to dive for a ball to try to make a catch, and then last second he's like, no,
that's all mental. That's all. Those are like mental. See, and that's my beef. I think that's where it really is. And I know I don't want to change his personality. I know it sounds like I want Eloy to be somebody else. I'm fine with your personality, but when it comes to baseball, when it comes to decisions like that, he's not making smart baseball decisions when it comes down to it. Split second, he doesn't understand his own body. You know what I mean? You're 6'4", 6'5", 200 and something pounds. You're not light, and and those tendons aren't gonna, they're not gonna be real easy if you go ahead and continue to play like this. Stop and going, making abrupt decisions to not follow through with a play. That is a cause for injury.
It is, and again, and I believe he should be the DH. I absolutely believe that. I think he should be the DH. I think Encarnacion needs to be back in Schaumburg or designated for assignment. And I think Adam Engel needs to be the starting left fielder for the Chicago White Sox right now and put Encarnacion at DH. But now you got the other problem because you would then have to play Nomar in right field. So, what are you going to do? With these outfielders, we definitely tried Nicky Delmonico at the beginning of the season. That was a complete disaster, So again, the Lurie Garcia injury is way more prominent than people thought it was. He was going to be the starting second baseman until Madrigal came up. Madrigal has come up and done way better than I thought he was. And I got to give our guy Zoe a lot of credit for that. He's really been on it. Madrigal has come up and he said, hey, I can hold this down. So losing Lurie is really hurting the White Sox more than anything else. And, that does handcuff Rick a little bit, but also don't think we have the guy guiding the ship who can make those type of decisions either.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun, man. Lurie's going to be a huge help. He's going to be a huge help. Nomar has given us nothing. He's given us 1 homer all year. And not that I expected 50 homers, but come on, man, dude. You hit one 500 feet against us last year. And I think that's what really got everyone excited, or at least the front office to bring him in. And he's done nothing for us on the offensive end. And that really stinks because even though the White Sox have given Adam Engel more than enough chances, he's your guy. You know what I mean? Give him chances. If what 2 years ago I said, if this guy can hit 260 to 280, he's an everyday. This dude's hitting now. He's under 3. He's hitting 295.
Right.
He's hitting 295. Give him more opportunities because damn well he's not a liability. He's a Gold Glover in the field. So why not give him more opportunities? And that's where the politics comes in, because you gave Nomar X amount of dollars. He needs to be in there.
Yep.
But if you're winning, and that's one of the reasons I like Ozzie. Like Ozzie would fight that. He'd be like, look, this guy's hitting. He's hit 1 homer for us. Adam Engel's hit not just homers. He's got clutch hits.
Like
the other day before the walk-off, bottom of the 9th, like, dude, man, this guy hits, he gets 2 strikes on him, goes shopping at the gap. Like, this is what we're talking about. Adam Engel is he's been really focused towards or become a better offensive player, and he has. Like you said, he's just a shy on. I think he's 290. He's batting 295 at this point. Come on, man. What would 2 years ago? Would you think Adam Engel would have even sniffed 300?
Not a chance in the world. But one thing I did know about Adam Engel is that he, even back then, was the best defensive outfielder on this team. He still is. He's the best center fielder on this team. I mean, I had a problem with Ricky's decision the other day when he brought Engel into the game late, but he didn't put him in center field. And that ball went up there, and Luis Robert mistimed his jump once again. He's got to work on a lot of things as rookie. And, Adam Engel would have had that ball. They'd have won that game. Adam Engel would have had that ball. You move Robert over to right field. Adam Engel is your best defensive center fielder on the White Sox, period. If he's in the game, that is the position he needs to be in.
I think you're right. I think as of today, he is the best defensive. I think Lou Bob can be better, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet. He's a rookie, and I think you're right. I think and these are the conversations that need to be had. And I don't know, I would hope Ricky would have them, but someone, a manager like Ozzie sees this, and I know I'm on the Ozzie train. A lot of people don't like it. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion, but Ozzie would say, "Hey, this is the best guy I got." And I'm not trying to, you're a rookie. I'm not trying to. This isn't the developmental league. He just said that, said it yesterday. I need to put the players in there that can help me win. We're trying to win a division. This is what needs to be done. And we've seen Adam Engel rob 2 homers in a week. You know what I mean? Those type of things. And, that might be a cause for, maybe Adam Engel goes back to center and you Lou Bob in right field. Maybe that's the thing. Takes a lot of pressure off of Lou Bob, so he doesn't have to be, running the outfield. Now Adam Engel's running it. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. I don't know. I that guy's got to be in the lineup more, because I know the amount of bats he has is much smaller than everybody else. But man, if this dude's hitting damn near 300, why not give him more bats? That's a great idea.
Right, and and I completely expect him to be in the lineup, tomorrow's game and Sunday, because again the Cubs are pitching 2 lefties, so they're not going to play Nomar. But the thing again about Engel. He makes you better in the outfield, patrolling center field. That's incredible to know. I don't have to worry about center field. I don't have to worry about right field. And to be honest, I feel as though he's less likely to run into Eloy in left field as opposed to Luis on those balls in the gap. Because, we've had a lot of near misses between Eloy and Robert this year. And I'm like, these are 2 big dudes. I don't want to see this collision. These are 2 big, young, strong guys. I think Ingles a smarter center fielder. He will avoid Eloy. He's played with him long. He's played a full season. But, at the same time, we can't forget, Lubop has played less than 60 games in his career. Same thing with Dylan Cease. The young man hasn't even been through a whole season yet, so I'm not being hard on him. I know a lot of these guys are kind of pushed to the threshold. Same thing with Madrigal and some of his crazy base running decisions. We forget these guys are very talented, but they're also very young. And that is the reason why I agree with you that Ricky Renteria is the wrong person for this team right now. Here's actually what I would do, Shawn. While I'm not in favor of making Ozzie a manager for long term, I definitely, after yesterday, would have fired Renteria and made Guillen the interim manager throughout the remainder of the season. I think Ozzie's got the playoff experience to make those crucial decisions you're going to need to make during a playoff series that Renteria does not have. And I think after the season, you do a full search and find out who you can bring in to manage this team going forward. But right now, I'm just very disappointed in the decisions Renteria made, and it's going to cost us in the playoffs, similar to when we all knew Cody Parkey was going to cost the Bears come playoff time. There's certain things you can see coming in the regular season, and you at some point this is going to really bite us in the butt. And I just think it's going to be some bad managerial decisions by Renteria that dooms his team in the playoffs.
I agree. He's Jason Palmer. I'm Shawn Sierra, and we'll be back for the last break of the show and the last break of the week. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
They put it down at the Jags 15-yard line. Breed of the running back. Back to throw, Fitzpatrick. Throws it downfield, caught by Gesicki. Touchdown, Miami.
Dolphins radio with the call and a 31-13 win over Jacksonville on Thursday night. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 touchdowns, leading Miami to the victory. He becomes the first NFL quarterback to notch 6 wins over the same opponent with 6 different teams. The Dolphins improved to 1-2, the lopsided outcome giving Miami its first double-digit victory in 39 games. That ends the longest drought in the league. Fitzpatrick, 18 of 20 passing, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for a score. Jacksonville drops to 1-2. Gardner Minshew, 30 of 42 passing, 275 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
This week at Macy's, it's full on fall, and we're so ready for it with the latest trends for cool and crisp weather ahead. Chic black and white styles will be your go-to. Classic plaids feel bold and put together, and so many bright hues add that extra pop to any look. Plus, you won't want to miss new arrivals from your favorite brands like Inc., Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. Now at Macy's. And Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. More info at Macys.com/Star Rewards.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to have to wait. We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Shawn and Morning on SportsZone Chicago. Last segment of the week, and I am fired up about it. Jay, I want to get your take a little bit on the Bears. We didn't get to talk with you on that. You came in right after that, after Bears talk. Give me your thoughts. The Falcons are hurting right about now. The Falcons are hurting. Their right tackle didn't practice yesterday. Julio Jones was out with a hamstring. Their pass rushing specialist, Dante Fowler, didn't practice yesterday with an ankle. Give me your thoughts on how you think that this outcome will be on Sunday with the number 1 receiver out, with pass rush specialist out, offensive tackle out, how big of a shot do the Bears have to go 3-0?
Despite the Bears' troubles this year, I feel very good about this game. I think Atlanta is a hot mess. I think Atlanta is just all over the place, and to lose the game the way they did with the Cowboys, that does something to your team. When you like, man, we gave that game away. We just blew that game, and now they're 0-2. The Bears are 2-0. They could actually be just the opposite if you flip these teams. The Bears' last 2 victories, we can kind of give them a lot of luck credit for their wins, but they did get those wins. I feel very confident about them. I think, this is a team that the Bears should kind of feast upon. I think this is a good chance for the defense to get its act together against a team that's missing, possibly missing their biggest weapon in Jones. And as you said, losing the left tackle, Mac should have a field day. Mac and Quinn should have a field day now. So I think this is a good chance for the Bears defense to really put on a dominating performance. And I think the offense will be fine. They are playing indoors at the Mercedes-Benz Dome, so you won't have any weather to worry about. So your kicking game shouldn't have anything to worry about. And I actually think, our kicker has actually been, pretty good this year as well. So I expect the Bears victory. I think they should win this game by about 14 points myself.
Really? Wow. That's a big spread.
Yeah. 14
points. Wow. I'm a little concerned. The bend but don't break defense that Chapagano's been employing. They've been playing it very well. Okay. They've held out both times. They're giving up a lot of yards, not giving up a lot of points. I personally would love to see him blitz more and bring more pressure. But, again, we talked about maybe some of the reasons why that he just doesn't trust that offense. So, regardless of the situation, they're 2-0. Give me your thoughts on the linebacking crew. Danny Trevathan's been he's been struggling. They did sign Daniel McCullers, 6'7", 350, to play some nose guard, which I think is a phenomenal move for this team, and that'll help everybody out, including the guys in the next level immediately behind them, and that's Smith and Trevathan. But give me your thoughts on Danny Trevathan. And do you think he has a bounce back week, or is something wrong with him? What's your thoughts on Trevathan?
Well, I'm hoping Trevathan has just been dealing with some sort of nagging injury that we don't know about. I hope he's not in that decline phase in his career, and that's what we're seeing. That would really scare me. We'll see. He's going to get his opportunity. We know that. I'm very impressed with Roquan Smith's energy last week. He was kind of all over the field. That's who I'm expecting to get big game out of on Sunday. He's coming back home to Georgia. When you come back home, he's going to probably have a little extra gear. He's playing in a facility he's very familiar with and playing in college. He's back at home. You're playing in front of friends and family, even though they're not at the game, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm expecting Roquan to have a very big game. And I think that's going to help out Trevathan if, Roquan gets off. I'm not familiar with the new big guy they signed, but I know what 6'7", 358 mean. I mean, I don't have to know you to know what that means. I mean, that's somebody who's going to take up some space in the middle. That's somebody who's going to occupy 2 offensive linemen, if they got any sense. And, that makes it real hard to run up the middle. And, I think that's a good signing, just off of the size alone. I don't know how good of a football player he is, but I know he's going to take up some space.
Yeah, this is true. And that's one thing that I was really concerned about is that run game. They've been gashed by the previous 2 teams. And, if Saquon Barkley didn't get hurt, who knows what he would have done against this Bears defense. And I'm not saying I'm happy he got hurt, because I would never say that. I'm just saying that the Bears defense were fortunate that he was no longer able to play, because I think he would have done a number just like Adrian Peterson and everybody else did on them the week before. And that's what they needed. And I told Ivan, I said, they need a nose guard. Bilal Nichols just isn't heavy enough. He doesn't have enough weight in his ass, because you're gonna have to occupy 2 blocks. You're gonna get double teamed from the right guard or from the left guard at some particular point, and you need to be able to fight people off. And he wasn't able to do that, and that's why they were just gashing him, up the middle of the field. They weren't going outside and off tackle. it was inside zones and runs like that were really getting the Lions, but also the
Lions.
The Lions were able to do against us. So if that stops and they can go rush the quarterback, oh yeah. And then here's where that starting right tackle missing, that's where he comes into play.
I'm with you, Jason, about the Bears getting winning by 14 plus. I think I just feel like the defense and not the offense is going to be the main show because I think it's just time. Like now you have Robert Quinn. The guys have gotten this is game 3. You know what I mean? This is game 3, so you're used to game experience. You're used to actually playing football again. I think that this is the game where the defense really eats, and I think that they put the Bears offense in position and they lighten the load for Mitch, so Mitch is going to look a little better. I don't think he looks better throughout the game, but I think the defense, they get heated up, they get ready to go in around third, fourth quarter. They completely shut down Atlanta, but I think Mitch will benefit from that. But I think it's going to be the defense and to start it to get that going towards a blowout.
I agree. Derek Burns said they miss Eddie Goldman. I absolutely agree. Shawn, you had talked about that when
Derek, right?
Started. That was your first concern of the season. Actually, when you heard that he took the option to opt out, you were like, "Oh boy, that's going to really hurt." And we've seen it the first two weeks. So I mean, we do have to give Ryan Pace credit. He apparently saw what we saw, and they've tried to address the issue. And my concern when I heard that Goldman wasn't going to play this year, I was like, well, should the Bears change their defensive scheme? Do you change out of that because they're playing the 3-4 now, right? Do you switch into a 4-3 now? I don't know how difficult that is to do on the fly, but is that something they could have perhaps considered when they knew Goldman wasn't coming in? Because in a 3-4, your nose guard becomes the most important person on the defensive line.
Maybe adding to the maybe adding something that complements whoever's going to be filling in, but like to revamp the entire system, that'll take like a year.
Yeah, you saw when the Bears went from a 4-3 to a 3-4 with under Vic Fangio, and you had another top-notch defensive coordinator. And that first year or two was a little tough. So yeah, but just there's other stuff you can do. You can go over under. You can walk some guy up, slide a guy out, slide the nose guy over into a one technique. As opposed to a zero technique. There's a couple of things you can do to get 4 linemen, but once you control the nose guard, game, set, match, your run defense is shot. Because if you control him one-on-one, now the guards can go get those 2 backers. Oh man, now you're off to the races because you only got 2 guys outside the tackle.
Now it goes like this. You
got your defensive ends. Your defensive ends are going to be outside and playing. Seven technique or outside the offensive guard, the tackle, and there's a huge hole for those running backs. So it was tough, and you're right, Ryan Pace, hats off. He's going to get a big guy in there quickly to remedy that, because if this guy can hold up blocks, you talked about Roquan Smith being amped out to play in front of his peoples. Yeah, Roquan Smith could be running around.
That's a guy I really hope has a game because we talked about how Roquan. I want a statement game from Roquan. You know what I mean? Like I want one of those games.
With a statement game, he's gonna be everywhere, bro. He's gonna be everywhere.
Okay. I want a historic game from Roquan Smith. That's what I want, Shawn. I want the above and beyond because I want 25 and a fumble. But I look for Roquan to have a big game. Realistically, I do look for him to have a huge game.
I do too.
Oh, that's going to be fun, man. That is, one of the things that Jason you talked about, and this we didn't get to talk about it much. We mentioned it in top of the morning, and I'm not sure how I'm interested to see how it goes. Coach Prime, as he wants to be called, Deion Sanders just got named the head coach of Jackson State University, Walter Payton's alma mater. Jackie Slater's as well, if I'm not mistaken. And he's bringing a star-studded staff to coach with him. Warren Sapp is going to be on the coaching staff. T.O. is going to be on the coaching staff. And my concern is this. Because you can play the game doesn't mean you can coach the game.
True that.
And, you may have a list of names, and to me, that was my first red flag. Okay, that was my first red flag because you got the names. I understand why you did it, but I can guarantee you there are a hell of a lot of other coaches who are a lot more qualified who you have no idea who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You better defensive line coaches, better wide receiver coaches, but it's the name, and this is what prime time does. It's the name. It's the glitz, and don't get me wrong, that was his thing. When he played, he was fundamentally one of the best players around. People don't look at that; they just look at the flashy
Right.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, how good are these guys as coaches? Because now you're not controlling yourself because you can motivate yourself. We've seen that. You're Hall of Famers. We get it. How can you motivate a kid who's thought he was going to go big time D1, okay, and he didn't, and he had to go to Jackson State. You know what I mean? How are you going to motivate him and get him going? Okay, and that's going to be interesting.
I think the chance to play for a Deion Sanders, Terrell Owens, and Warren Sapp might motivate me. I mean, that's just me though. Like if I were a kid coming in, I'm like, oh man, I missed out on this, I missed out on that, or you didn't even get looked at from the college, from the bigger name colleges, and you come into a Jackson State with an opportunity to play for a guy. I mean, to your point, you're right. Just because you played doesn't mean you could coach. But with that being said, you still have the guys that play the game, and guys want to know something, at least take some knowledge from those guys because they were there and they've done it.
Right. I think Shawn, you hit it on the head. We know why he did it. It just increased your recruiting profile tremendously. And we can't forget that, even though X's and O's and schemes and everything, you also got to have talent. So you got to have the talent. So if he can bring in some talent, and kind of work with those guys, I don't think he's necessarily done a bad thing here. I think it's going to work out for him, over the long run. He's going to get in some really top-notch kids, some 5-star, some 4-star players, which have not been looking at Jackson State. So I like the move. I think it's going to be entertaining more than anything else. You talked earlier about a coach taking pressure off the players. Well, my thing with this is that most of the focus is going to be on the coaching staff now. So this is going to be very interesting to see how he can develop these players. And it's rumored he's actually trying to get Ed Reed to leave University of Miami and come with him, to coach defensive backs. And, I'm like, man, if he does that, I definitely expect Jackson State to be on more national games, national TV games. So, I think from this standpoint, it is doing exactly what we wanted it to do. It's raising the profile of some of these HBCUs. And my hope is that by him doing this, he's going to inspire other top-notch former players. And, I really would like to see some of the top-notch coaches, go to a HBCU. And I mean a strictly a straight coach, someone with a coaching pedigree say, hey, you know what? I've made my money already. I've made my money at these top schools. Let me go down here to an HBCU. I know I can't, I'm going to take a little bit of a pay cut, but I'm already set. Let me go down here and teach these kids some of the stuff that I know. I think that'll be the true turning point when you get one of these pedigree coaches to decide to go to an HBCU.
Yeah, I think it will. And because what you're doing is, we're talking, and I hate to get political, but it's all about power. Okay. And if you can start getting, we saw Derek just told us, Derek Burns, thank you for your comment, Papa. Said Prime's Ways, he offered a 5-star already. All right. Now, and it's a DT. Why do you offer a 5-star DT? Well, because you got a Super Bowl winning defensive, a Hall of Fame defensive tackle who's going to be your coach.
Yep.
Okay. So that, and then you bring in Ed Reed. Now you got a superstar, Hall of Fame, Super Bowl winning free safety, arguably the best in the game to ever play that position. But what they're going to want, what I like what you're saying, because if he can get other quality coaches down there, they're going to bring quality coaches with them. And all of a sudden, the SWAC and the MEAC aren't going to be those just regular 1AA. That's how I know them. Conferences, they're going to have people are going to want to be seen. Okay, because once they start getting an influx of talent and there's been a decent amount of talent coming from the HBCUs. Once you get 5 stars and 5 and 4, a lot more 5 and 4s going there, the quality of football is better. Okay, and all of a sudden, if the quality of football is better, people are going to want to see it. People are going to want to see it. Guess what? Now here come the TV contract. bingo, there comes your money. All the facilities that you thought you couldn't, that you didn't have, that you couldn't, the reason why you couldn't compete with the Florida States, the LSUs, the Miamis, guess what? That changes. That changes when you get that TV money. And because you got HBCU alums all over the country, so if they got to pay an extra $5 a month for on the cable package, they'll do it, and that's where the change comes. It'll take about 3 to 5 years, to start seeing that. But once we start getting other coaches, even if we get another 1 or 2 good coaches, like a Marv Lewis, like I know he was struggling with the Bengals, but man, get him down at HBCU and have him bring some quality coaches in the NFL, who haven't gotten a gig in the NFL, bring them down. Like it doesn't have to be.
Not Lovie Smith's son, no.
Pimpin' ain't easy. Hey, he'll have a side gig. That's a side gig. But you bring people, quality coaches, then that now again you raise the level of play. Once you raise the level of play, bingo, cha-ching, those big TV contracts. Man, hey, guys, it has been a phenomenal week. 3 hours has come and gone today. Can you believe it? Hey, I want to thank my guests, man. Today was a great show. I want to thank my guest, Joseph Phillips. He starts it off for us every show from 9 to 10. I want to thank Kenneth Davis for calling in from the Davis Show, and you can find him on Twitter at That's Davis. That Davis Show, and then That's Davis on Twitter. Zach Pearson from BearReport.com for calling in. Talking a little Bears with us. Patrick Nolan from SoxMachine.com as well. Our guy, you see him, one of the co-hosts of What's Up, Cuz, Jason Palmer. Our technical director, Elliot Baez. Our social media guru himself, Clarence Council. My co-host in absentia. Where's she at? She in Vegas or the Galapagos? Somewhere on there. Maya Kai. All of us, man, we all of us put it together to we all contribute, made it a great show for yet another week. So thank you guys, and young lady and Maya. Good stuff. But we got to take a little weekend break, and it's going to be a good one. A lot of sports on. Make sure you catch the Cub Sox. Make sure you catch the Bears. Make sure you catch any more news on Billy the Kid. I love that dude, man. I'm so fired up about that boy. I don't care if he ain't a black coach. That was the best coach available, and that shows you about how this organization's running. Like we don't care. 4 for 24. Got you. $6 million a year. We got you. Right. So. I'm liking it. So man,
that's a win now move. That's a win now move.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of good things going on in Chicago sports right about now. So enjoy the weekend. It's gonna be you gonna be grilling or anything this weekend, Jay?
I'm probably not gonna see my wife this weekend because everything is going on. So my food, I'm probably gonna be on my own. So I may be ordering pizza and stuff. But I think I'm gonna get out and do some grilling. It's gonna be real nice out here. So I think I'll probably grill on Sunday.
Okay. Yvonne?
Weekend, Jay?
What's that?
Junk food weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna be putting on some weight. I definitely I'm gonna do some bike riding before I watch these games though.
Okay. Hey, great stuff. So for my co-host in absentia, Maya Kai, and Jason Palmer, and my guy himself, Ivan Vargas. Guys, I'm your boy Super Yeah, forgot. I'm your boy the Super Black Shawn here. We'll be back Monday, 9 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time. Until then, have a good weekend. Bear the freak down. Go Sox. Cuck the fun.
Download the app.
Go you.
Download the app.